Chapter 221. After the performance 3. Sia Whale laughs as he watched me, surrounded by the sound of thunder. Rumble. Hoo-hoo, no matter how great the hard path method is, if it doesn't hit, it's nothing. Crash. As the sound of thunder roars, the next moment I knee Sia Whale in the head. His head is cleanly severed by the sharp energy. That makes one. Ah, coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. Sia Whale transforms into his true body. The massive body of a sea dragon fills the dark space. Demon ability, Grand Ocean 1000 Li Pearl. Swoosh. Within a radius of 500 Li. A gigantic water droplet, big enough to be 1,000 Li in diameter, appears in the dark space. In an instant, Sia Whale and I are trapped inside a spherical sea, with Sia Whale freely swimming and pressuring me. Demon ability, 300 million Jin Sweetwater Peach. Wo Wang. Suddenly, the water pressure becomes immensely heavy. The water droplets flow into my remaining flesh, seemingly trying to swell it up like a water-soaked peach. But in the next moment, the colorless lightning wrapping my body turns into a golden hue. The first lightning, an invisible, undetectable, and penetrating all barriers to strike the nascent soul, heavenly tribulation. And the second lightning, flash, my body transcends the demon ability of the Grand Ocean 1000 Li Pearl, literally leaping through space. This is truly surpassing radiance. A heavenly tribulation striking down faster than light and tearing through space. My attack hits Sia Whale's neck. Of course, being at the very peak of the 4-axis stage, Sia Whale's body itself remains intact. However, that makes two. The reason the Heart Tribe is abhorred is due to the heavenly tribulations they incur when rising to higher realms. It will be quite amusing when Sia Whale tries to ascend to the integration stage. The third heavenly tribulation. Can I do it? The reason I can replicate the surpassing radiant saber is because Kim Young-hoon's martial arts developed alongside me, and also because the foundation of the surpassing radiant saber and the formless sword lies in the same basis as the severing mountain swordsmanship and severing vein saber method. Though I promised you back, can I really replicate others' emotions? I delve deeper, concentrating my consciousness even more. Wo Wang. Outside Sia Whale's canopy, the figure of Kim Yi-yeon shines even brighter. Connected to Seo Eun-yeon, her brightness seems to increase even further as Seo Eun-yeon shines brightly. And then, her figure, which had been still, moves her hand. The Mad Lord's eyes sparkle. The consciousness of my disciple. Not a nascent soul, but something more evolved. Is this the direction the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon should aim for? Wo Wang. Kim Yi-yeon's figure points at the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Realizing what she intends to do, the Mad Lord chuckles. She intends to activate Yi-yeon's play. Alone? No, not alone. She plans to collaborate with Seo Eun-yeon who entered inside. Well, let's see how it goes. The Mad Lord looks at Kim Yi-yeon with anticipation in his eyes. And Kim Yi-yeon moves her hand. In her grasp, countless threads of consciousness are caught, and those threads enter the wonderfully mysterious fortress, activating its final stage. Coo-goo-goo-goo. Wo Wang. The golden radiance of Yi-yeon's play activates. It flows into Sia Whale's canopy. The Mad Lord quietly watches the scene. No matter how much you try to activate the Yi-yeon's play from the outside, if you don't create coordinates for time-space inside and supply power towards those coordinates, it's useless. What exactly are you trying to do? Dive deeper, even deeper, as I concentrate my consciousness to unfold others' hearts. Wo Wang. The thread of consciousness connected to me from Kim Yi-yeon shines. At the same time, a golden radiance surrounds me. This is, I feel it as soon as I am touched by the radiance. This is Yi-yeon's play. Kim Yi-yeon, from outside, activated Yi-yeon's play and sent its power to me. But what should I do with it? How should I? Wait, a thought flashes through my mind. Is that it? I immediately put the thought into action. Wo Wang. Having studied the wonderfully mysterious fortress and understood the operation of Yi-yeon's play, I also grasped how the Mad Lord attracted space-time. First, replicate that moment of desire as a puppet show to fix the coordinates of space-time. Then, using one's own gravitational pull to twist space-time to create a path between that space-time and the current. The key is fixing the coordinates. The difference between the Mad Lord's puppet show and my canvas of myriad forms and connections is just in the materials. There isn't much difference. Boo Wang. I infuse the power of Yi-yeon's play into the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The power contained within the canvas of myriad forms and connections surges into the colorless glass sword. Fate has its own gravitational pull. Then, wouldn't history comparable to fate also possess a similar gravitational pull? Flash. My history accumulated in the canvas of myriad forms and connections shines, distorting space-time. I begin my sword dance. And right beside me, performing the dance alongside me, appears the shadow of a man. I transparently encapsulate that dance, that heart, within the formless sword and unfold it. Kururum. Once again, golden rays of light strike Coal directly. I smile as I look at the side profile of the man manifested through the canvas of myriad forms and connections. It's been a while. The surpassing radiant saber I manifested this time is much more natural than the one I forcibly manifested just before. The man leaves me a smile and disappears back into the canvas of myriad forms and connections. So that's how it is. Unbeknownst to me, my canvas of myriad forms and connections is the optimal method to unfold Yian's play. I feel confident. At this moment, the canvas of myriad forms and connections in Yian's play, my treading heavens beyond the path and the curse of lightning transformation have all merged. I realize what I can do. TSTSTST. From the canvas of myriad forms and connections, a green figure springs out. The green figure, wielding a padao, is manifested by Yian's play. 4 treasures annihilating heaven's blade. Heaven collapsing annihilating heavens. The last annihilating heavens of the 4 treasures annihilating heaven's blade. The strike that granted the green figure the title of heaven collapsing esteemed one. The strongest strike that can even collapse the heavens. The absurd power that had split the wonderfully mysterious fortress in two at the verge of the star-shattering stage unfolds from my formless sword. Crash. Green lightning strikes Coal's flank. The third lightning, a heavenly tribulation that tears everything apart and destroys it through space. Coal's flank is laid bare with scales stripped away to reveal muscle and blood vessels. However, Coal enters into the grand ocean thousandly pearl, absorbing water attributes spiritual energy and calmly prepares his attack. Demon ability, extinguishing Masolum raining heavens. Swoosh. The water of the grand ocean thousandly pearl turns into sharp raindrops, scattering in all directions. Each raindrop possesses the insane power to destroy hills. Kugugugik. When Coal focuses his gravitational pull on me, the raindrops all plunge towards me. Baeknyung adds power to the gravitational pull from within his magic artifact. However, the figure of Baeknyung is also present within my canvas of myriad forms and connections. Baeknyung is manifested, and I receive and unfold his beyond the path. Mountain repelling whip. The formless sword extends like a whip in all directions, distorting weight. Eventually, the raindrops that envelop me turn into streams of water that, although full of spiritual energy, weigh no more than a speck of dust. Kugugugu. Not stopping there, I break through the clouds formed by the water streams and launch an attack on Coal's back. The immature beyond the path of Baeknyung's also becomes a heavenly tribulation within my formless sword, striking Coal. The fourth lightning, a heavenly tribulation that makes the body so heavy that even moving a finger becomes difficult upon impact. Kugugugu. I swing the formless sword from Coal's back, rush towards his front paw, cut off the small necklace tied there, and kick the necklace away. Pang. The crystal piece containing Baeknyung's soul flies towards Yua, and I prepare for my final move. Kugugugu. Once again, golden light swirls around my entire body. And from the canvas of myriad forms and connections, the figure of Yu Baek appears. No, it isn't just Yu Baek. Starting from Yu Ryan's first appearance, falling in love with Coal, being betrayed, transforming into Yu Baek, and returning to this place. All her forms appear and are manifested in the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The golden light turns into chains. I wrap the chains around the colorless glass sword and look at Coal. Demon ability, illusory mist of 10,000 shadows. Realizing that being hit by this will be disastrous, Coal creates an illusion to hide and avoid it. But it's useless. I have the combined vision of heaven, earth, and heart tribes. I see it. I hold the golden chains. Holding the heart I received from Yu Ryan and Yu Baek, I infuse it back into the formless sword. Here I go. Behind me, Yu Ryan and Yu Baek. And all the connections I've made in this life. The countless records of past and history accumulated throughout my lives push me forward. Ah, for a moment, I see every scene recorded in the canvas of myriad forms and connections. I see what makes up the person I am. TST, TSTSTST. The Black Dragon's true blood. Why do only the young members of the demon race under 1,000 years participate in the immortal beast blood fusion? Why don't they infuse the power of immortal beasts into older members to strengthen their race's power? Today, I finally realize the reason. The true blood is being expelled from the body. Immortal beasts are beings that oversee history. All beings who live more than 9 times their natural lifespan and amass a grand history are seeds of immortal beasts in themselves. I have, living for over 2,000 years, already bloomed the qualifications to become an immortal beast. The cumbersome power of the black dragon is unnecessary. The true blood of the black dragon could have been a disaster that nearly prevented my own blossoming as an immortal beast. But at this moment, I realize. SSSSHHHH. The dragon's form disappears from my body, and the pale fog of the canvas of myriad forms and connections envelops me, starting to infuse new power. Although it's only this much for now, if I continue to amass history, I might truly ascend as a new immortal beast. Flash. The form of the black dragon and the power of lightning. Both are expelled from Seo Unyun's body in an instant, and Seo Unyun is clad in white and surrounded by a pure white mist. Seo Unyun's figure grasps the golden chains and launches himself towards Seo Weol. Seo Unyun's last gift to Seo Weol. The final lightning, a heavenly tribulation that continues to fall until Seo Weol dies. The heavenly tribulation, manifested by the auspicious exchange of emotional expression received from Yu Bek, absorbs the power of the white fog and accelerates, briefly surpassing his thoughts. Seo Unyun's sword, and Yu Bek's heart, directly pierces Seo Weol's heart. FZZT. Seo Weol coughs up blood and begins to draw the space of darkness into his body. The 4 axes return to Seo Weol's body. Seo Weol looks at Seo Unyun and then at the Mad Lord watching him from outside the wonderfully mysterious fortress. SSSSHHH. The figure of Kim Yeon, having completed her task, gradually disappears, and the Mad Lord begins to lapse back into madness. Seo Weol, Seo Weol, Seo Weol, oh Seo Weol. Seo Weol transforms into his human form, smiles briefly, then turns into a blue light and disappears somewhere. The Mad Lord, drooling, leads the wonderfully mysterious fortress and flies off following Seo Weol's trail. And Seo Unyun collapses right there. Crackle. Next to Seo Unyun, Yu Hua shatters the magic artifact containing Baek Myung's soul, liberating him while looking at Seo Unyun. Are you satisfied? I am satisfied. That's good. One thing. Seo Unyun's entire body is swirling with pure white mist and lightning. The mist tries to expel the lightning, but the lightning consuming Seo Unyun's body is faster. Seo Unyun, turning into lightning and scattering, speaks to Yu Hua. The heaven collapsing esteemed one, infused something into Yu Bek. Yu Bek conveyed her heart to me, and now it's inside me. I think I should pass it on to you. This was the consolation the heaven collapsing esteemed one gave to Gyu Ryan and Yu Bek. Also, a part of the esteemed one's enlightenment about the heart emotions. Some cultivators say the amount of air in the lungs is the heart emotions, and since the lungs correspond to metal, the heart emotions as metallic. But if we follow your cultivators' logic, since the metal of the 5 elements corresponds to the Qian of the 8 trigrams, isn't the heart from the heavens? Your heart lives touching the heavens, and just as you cannot deny the heavens, you cannot deny the heart. So even if someone denies your heart, it never truly disappears. These are the words Jang It conveyed to Gyu Ryan and Yu Bek. And through them, the words and enlightenment he infused. Where does the heart come from? If heaven is fate and earth is life, then perhaps the heart comes between fate and life, accompanying life. The performance is over, but the heart remains, continuing onwards. After conveying Jang Ike's enlightenment to Yu Hua, Seo Unyun finally scatters into fragments of lightning and disappears into the void. That is Seo Unyun's 16th return. Chapter 222, 17th Cycle's First Day. Join the Discord for chapter updates donations. Wandering for 500 years with Hong Fan to gather strength and escape the curse. But ultimately failing to completely escape the curse, dying after leaving a will in front of Hong Fan. That was my 17th return. I blink my eyes and look around. The familiar figure of Seo Weol. And the figures from the Flying Immortal platform. Quote ... question mark quote. What? I feel an overwhelming sense of incongruity. It's strange. This is definitely the 17th cycle. But I have an overwhelming feeling of déjà vu as if I had jumped directly from the 15th cycle to the 17th. The memories of just before, accepting Yu Bek's heart and dying after passing Jang Ike's message to Yu Hua, are vivid. It feels like it has just happened. No, more precisely, it feels as if the 16th cycle has just vanished entirely. Something's wrong. I remember there was a 16th cycle. But I can't remember the 16th cycle. It feels like I've skipped directly from the 15th to the 17th. Why is this happening? I hold my head in confusion. Then it happens. Zing. 9 categories. The term, 9 categories, becomes etched into my mind. 9 categories? What is this term? Is it related to the memories of the 16th cycle that I've lost? 9 categories, 9 categories. Amidst my confusion, I repeat the word, 9 categories, internally. Then, at some moment, 9 categories, I feel the realization of what 9 categories mean dawn on me. 9 categories is a name. It's someone's name. As I repeat this name to myself, I suddenly flinch. I remember the memories from the 15th cycle when I faced disaster for recklessly calling the name of the heavenly lightning banner. But then, a vague memory surfaces. No, that's not it. 9 categories is not the name of someone terrifying like the owner of the heavenly lightning banner or anything similar. Instead, it's a very familiar name, as if uttering 9 categories poses no threat whatsoever, an unfounded belief that takes hold within me. Who is 9 categories? Could it be related to someone who erased my entire 16th cycle from my memory? Has a true immortal, or at least a being above the star-shattering stage, interfered with me? I can think of no other explanation. Quote. Hey, at that moment, I am startled by Seo Whale's voice, calling me in a familiar tone. Are you alright? You suddenly looked panic-stricken and very confused. For now, I set aside my thoughts on 9 categories and the lost 16th cycle and look at Seo Whale. Perhaps because I lost the 16th return, I realize that the emotions I felt during the 15th return are still vivid towards Seo Whale now. I briefly look at Seo Whale, then at Yu Ryan behind him, who is trying to lead the demon beasts to the True Dragon Alliance. Yu Ryan looks dissatisfied with Seo Whale's slow movements and with me, whom Seo Whale is trying to recruit. I feel bitter looking at her. The Yu Ryan I know from the 15th cycle is gone, and Yu Beck, one of those connections, is also forever out of reach. With that sentiment, I politely greet Yu Ryan in the demon race language, not overtly but subtly. As a member of the human race, Seo Unyun greets the envoy of the Earth tribe. HMMPH, don't talk to me, human. Quote. I turn my gaze away from Yu Ryan, who looks annoyed, to Heo Gwak leading the Black Ghost Valley. And Jin Baek Ho, leading the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect and Black Ghost Valley. These are the only 2 factions I haven't visited yet. Wo Wang, I naturally release my consciousness domain. Rumble, a vast consciousness fills the area. And seeing the size of my consciousness, everyone, including Seo Whale, are astonished. A nascent soul stage consciousness. In the 16th cycle, I think I reached the mid-stage of nascent soul, forming a yang spirit. My consciousness has always been larger than cultivators of the same stage since the time of 5 energies converging to the origin, and it has always been significantly larger after learning the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. Although I don't remember much from the 16th cycle, reaching the mid-stage of nascent soul means my consciousness domain is similar to that of a late-stage nascent soul cultivator. Join our Azure Heaven Creation sect. Seeing the size of your consciousness, you are a talent well suited for refining the body. Haha, splendid. You, how about joining the Earth Tribe? Hum. Azure Tiger Saint and Seo Whale both reach out to me, and the Mad Lord, watching my consciousness, suddenly starts humming and swaying his body. The Mad Lord seems ready to kidnap me if necessary. And Jin Baek Ho and Heo Gwak also rush towards me, eyes wide. This is unbelievable. You must come to our Black Ghost Valley. It's the perfect place for you to flourish your talents. With death filled in your soul and your consciousness domain, even in your current state, you could command dozens of Ghost Kings just by learning the basics of the Ghost Path method. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect also. Shut up, Jin Baek Ho. This guy is absolutely necessary for our Black Ghost Valley. He's got the perfect talent for learning ghost techniques. What room does your lightning methods have to interfere? Right then. Zing. Quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. The heavenly lightning banner that Jin Baek Ho possesses. As the heavenly lightning banner approaches me, I feel a sudden heat surge through my body. At the same time, crackle, quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. I am shocked to see lightning sparking from various parts of my body. Damn it, the memory from the 16th cycle faintly resurfaces again. The 15th cycle. The curse of lightning transformation I received from directly facing the owner of the heavenly lightning banner. It had followed me even beyond returns. I struggled for 500 years alongside Hongfan in various places around the world during the 16th cycle to shed the curse of lightning transformation. Fortunately, as time passed, the curse of lightning transformation gradually faded, and just before dying, the speed of becoming lightning significantly slowed down. And now, in the 17th cycle. Damn it, I realize with a grimace that the lightning sparking is not coming from my body but from my blood. The droplets of my blood are slowly and definitely turning into lightning. The curse is progressing, definitely, slower than in the previous cycle. But undoubtedly, my body is, definitely, transforming into lightning. Despite dying twice in the 15th and 16th cycles, I am still terminally affected by the true immortal's curse. The somewhat relieving aspect is that in my last life, I had lived for 500 years before my body disintegrated into lightning. This means in this life, I will have quite some time. Anyway, I must exert effort to shed the curse of lightning transformation in this life as well. It's then, suddenly, Jin Baek Ho's eyes turn. This is lightning sacred body. Get lost, Heo Gwak. This guy's physique is very similar to the lightning sacred body, a legend passed down in our golden divine heavenly thunder sect. There was no reaction when we tested him in the lower realm. I don't know what happened. Anyway, this guy must be taken by our golden divine heavenly thunder sect. Don't talk nonsense. Why should we give someone born with a natural talent for ghost path methods to the golden divine heavenly thunder sect? A natural talent for ghost path methods. This guy is undoubtedly a genius of lightning path methods born with a lightning sacred body. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Heo Gwak shouts at me with an excited expression, ignoring Jin Baek Ho. Lightning path methods are plenty even in our Black Ghost Valley, which has a history of 500,000 years. From the 6 extremes yin, thunder spirit comparable to the golden divine heavenly thunder sect's Taiji quaking lighting body, to the primordial lightning true devil technique, great blood lightning barrier war force, and more. Even if you are born with a talent for lightning path methods, you can bloom your talent in the Black Ghost Valley. However, since the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, with its short history, lacks ghost path methods, if you go there, your other talents will never be able to bloom. HMPH. Such ghost path methods can just be stolen from other sects and learned in our sect. And the lightning path methods of the Black Ghost Valley that Heo Gwak mentioned were developed only to counter the power of our golden divine heavenly thunder sect's lightning path methods. In actuality, when cultivators of the 6 extremes yin thunder spirit, which he claims compares to our Taiji quaking lighting body, clash, the 6 extremes yin thunder spirit gets beaten up and only manages to run away with their life in countless cases. If you join the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, you can overcome the Black Ghost Valley's devilish arts right from the elemental compatibility. In fact, when disciples of the Black Ghost Valley and the golden divine heavenly thunder sect spar, the win rate is about 7-3 in favor of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. Nonsense. The example he's talking about is just friendly sparring. In actual combat, our sect's devilish arts have not just 1 or 2 advantages over being on equal footing. Heo Gwak and Jin Baek Ho spit at each other, eyes rolling back in fervor over me. In that overheated atmosphere, Seo Wei steps forward to mediate between the two. Shouldn't one of you concede? It's not good to get heated like this so soon after joining the Flying Immortal platform. Well, that's true, but if that's the case, why don't you both calmly explain to the junior why he must absolutely come to your sect? With a few words, Seo Wei manages to calm them down a bit more. With Seo Wei's mediation, Jin Baek Ho steps forward to speak first. Anyone with a spiritual root knows how we cultivate the lightning path methods in our sect. Our sect's spirit is even more cohesive than the Black Ghost Valley's depending on how one practices the lightning path methods. Moreover, mastering the thunderclap wall force can be a definite help when overcoming heavenly tribulation in the future. What could be more important to a cultivator than overcoming heavenly tribulation? Following Jin Baek Ho, Heo Gwak speaks. Let's cut to the chase. Born with a lightning saint body and possessing the highest talent for ghost path methods, you are the best candidate to learn the 6 extremes yin lightning spirit. Jin Baek Ho says it loses to the Taiji quaking lighting body, but that's because there hasn't been anyone who fully mastered the 6 extremes yin lightning spirit in the history of our sect. If you can master the 6 extremes yin lightning spirit, regardless of compatibility, it will not lose to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's lightning path methods. Remember, there's no method our sect, with its 500,000-year history, does not possess. Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect or Black Ghost Valley. I contemplate which sect to choose. Honestly, I am not too concerned about what methods they have. At my current level, if I just recover my cultivation, I can even confront a 4-axis stage cultivator, so I don't covet any methods. Instead, I decide to focus on the incidents that will occur in both sects. The Heavenly Lightning Banner leads its owner to descend where the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is located, and the Black Ghost Valley nearly falls apart as Kong Minhee becomes the ghost guiding Holy Mother. I ponder about the two people involved in both sects. Jaeon Myung-hoon for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and Kong Minhee for the Black Ghost Valley. Honestly, Jaeon Myung-hoon isn't that appealing to me. Although the negative feelings have dissipated, I don't particularly harbor good feelings either. I think about Kong Minhee. The first thought that comes to mind about Kong Minhee is uncomfortable. Literally, my feelings towards Kong Minhee are uncomfortable. If Jaeon Myung-hoon and I are alone, he would try to bother me. But I can tolerate that. It would be at a level where I just find him cute, as in a baby. However, if Kong Minhee and I end up alone in the Black Ghost Valley. It'd feel insanely uncomfortable. It doesn't matter to me since time has passed, but Kong Minhee would probably avoid meeting me as much as possible. For me, it's something that happened over 2,500 years ago, but for Kong Minhee, it's only been a year and a half. However, the problem is, I need to interact with Kong Minhee to figure out why Kong Minhee becomes the ghost guiding Holy Mother. Damn, thinking about my relationship with Kong Minhee gives me a slight headache. Kong Minhee will definitely not talk to me. At Ascension Path, she might have pretended to talk to me because of the company people, but if we were alone, it was clear she would treat me as if I didn't exist. It's troublesome. I've made my decision. I look at Jin Baek-ho and greet him. I have long heard of the illustrious reputation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Haha, a good choice. Jin Baek-ho laughs heartily and pats my shoulder, while Heo Gwak turns his pale face away in frustration. Damn. Then, Seo Weol approaches Heo Gwak and whispers something in his ear. After hearing Seo Weol's words, Heo Gwak sighs deeply. He seems to ponder deeply before gritting his teeth and pulling something out of his storage bag. It's a skull. The skull is inscribed with intricate details of techniques and resembles a cultivation manual, similar to how demon beast methods are inscribed on parts of the body. ZZZT. When Heo Gwak grasps the skull, eerie souls flow into the top of the skull, covering the engraved characters. He extends the skull towards me, saying, "Take this, it's a manual containing the 6 extremes yin lightning spirit." Though it's regrettable that you're going to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and it pains me. Should you ever wish to leave the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and come to the Black Ghost Valley, confess your sincerity to the soul sealed in this manual. The soul sealed in the manual will teach you the intricacies of the 6 extremes yin lightning spirit, and you can come to the Black Ghost Valley after mastering it. To give me something like this. Heo Gwak smirks. It would be a waste to leave such a talent that's fated to master the 6 extremes yin lightning technique. We can't just leave the technique collecting dust in the archives. You are someone who must master it, so keep it. I express my gratitude to Heo Gwak's generosity by also giving him a formal bow. Jin Baek-ho seems displeased but allows it for the time being. After I chose the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Yu Ryan and Seo Weol returned to the True Dragon Alliance territory, and Mad Lord began his mischief once again. Taking advantage of the chaos caused by Mad Lord, I secretly implanted the mysterious bizarre Gu back into Kim Yeon, unnoticed by anyone. Mad Lord abducted the Wooden Man again, and a bounty was placed on him. After Mad Lord's departure, I followed Jin Baek-ho back to the human race territory once more. After registering my name in the register at Temporal Fate Island, I closed my eyes to organize my thoughts. Choosing the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect this life wasn't solely due to my relations with Kong Minhee being complicated. The first reason I chose the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was due to my aversion to devilish arts. First of all, the Black Ghost Valley is a sect that practices devilish arts. I had never been keen on practicing devilish arts, but my aversion reached its peak after dealing with Yuan Li. Although I use Yuan Yu as it feels more like spoils from killing Yuan Li, I actually dislike seeing Yuan Yu's face and use it periodically as a practice target for curse techniques. Besides the aversion to devilish arts, the second reason is that while there seems to be a solution for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's problem, there is little information about the Black Ghost Valley. I still don't know why Kong Min Hee became the ghost guiding Holy Mother and how to resolve it. Therefore, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, with a clearer solution, is a better choice for me. The third reason is guilt. Last life, or was it the life before that? Anyway, in the 15th cycle, I annihilated the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. It was beyond my control and I was unaware at the time. However, it's a fact that millions of humans died because of me. In the 15th cycle, my body suddenly became terminal and I was solely focused on ending COAO, so I didn't have time to properly feel guilty. But undoubtedly, that is a significant karma of mine. I can't just ignore it and choose the Black Ghost Valley, pretending nothing happened. The fourth reason is the curse of lightning transformation. After all, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect specializes in lightning path methods, being descendants of Yangsu Jin, the golden deity. They might have records or solutions to the curse. Even if not specifically the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, their location, Thunder Spirit Island, is famous for its lightning path sect. There might be a clue revealed if I investigate around. The fifth reason is for a hint beyond treading heavens. The commonality between lightning and life isn't just the instant. Studying the lightning path methods in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and contemplating over heavenly tribulation and heavenly lightning might also give me a chance to fully understand what lies beyond. So, do I have two main goals in this life? I sort out my thoughts. First, to find a way to undo the curse of lightning transformation. Second, to steal the heavenly lightning banner from within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. And then return to the head realm. I won't plan on shoving it into COAO's mouth or anything like that. Now that I've realized I can return from the upper realm to the lower realm again, I'll steal the heavenly lightning banner from the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and seal it in the head realm. Undoing the lightning curse and stealing the heavenly lightning banner will be the major objectives of this life. Of course, I should also try to find the lost memories of the 16th cycle. However, the reason I don't set finding the 16th cycle's memories as a goal for this life is because, somehow, I feel that I will never be able to find those memories again, a notion deeply ingrained in my subconscious. Not instilled by others, but my own instincts and cognition perceive it that way. This sense of void, as if a part of history is cut out, perhaps indicates that I shouldn't dare to find those memories again until I reach true immortal status. The memories of the 16th cycle. I'll try to find them slowly. The canvas of myriad forms and connections of the 16th cycle, too, is hidden from my eyes, shrouded in a misty fog. Setting the two objectives in mind, I arrive at Thunder Spirit Island with Jin Baek-ho. Upon arrival at Thunder Spirit Island, the heavenly being stage elders of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect appear around Jin Baek-ho. Zap, ZZZT. Jin Baek-ho waves his hand and a familiar flag appears. The heavenly lightning banner. I pretend not to see the heavenly lightning banner and greet with the elders. Haha, such fortune, to have two disciples with such talent join our sect. The ancestor, the golden deity, would be pleased. The elders laugh heartily, calling the lightning transformation curse a lightning saint body and welcome me warmly. Jin Baek-ho, amidst chatting with the elders, says, "Then, as the supreme sect leader, I shall go subjugate the traitors of our sect and those despicable ones from Thunder Cloud Peak. Only a few elders should stay behind, and all others should follow me. The remaining few should take out the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's flag and prepare the disciples to follow. Let's get the new disciples ready to learn the lightning path methods." Understood. Two of the oldest looking heavenly being stage elders stay behind, and the rest follow Jin Baek-ho to one side of Thunder Spirit Island and fly away. First, we must prepare to learn the lightning path methods. An elder chuckles, stroking his beard and giving me a meaningful look. Lightning path methods. This is my first time directly learning lightning path methods. Though I had indirect exposure, direct proficiency is something I haven't much experience with. How exactly do we prepare to learn it? Was it like the Azure Heaven Creation sect, where they tie you up and electrocute you? Or perhaps, like the Mad Lord, some modification to easily accept lightning energy? I am ready to accept any harsh training. Just when I steeled my resolve. Lightning is born from the circulation of yin and yang, which is the core of all lightning path methods. Therefore, those who practice lightning path methods must primarily focus on the circulation of yin and yang, that is, the cycle of Taiji. Yes, I am aware. This information was previously obtained from Yi and Wei, regarding the gender-changing technique, the Taiji quaking lightning body. That's why our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect forms dual cultivation partners during training to facilitate the smooth exchange of yin and yang. Quote. Starting now, let's find you a suitable dual cultivation partner. Translator notes. Never mind. The 16th cycle was the real build-up lol. Chapter 223. Black Snake 1. Dual cultivation partners. I stand there, momentarily unable to comprehend what was just said. And then, the next moment. Seeing you silent, you must be quite shy. Let's see. Besides the lightning saint body, we'll examine the bloodlines you possess and find the most suitable woman based on your bloodline. Wah, wait a moment. I suddenly come to my senses and hurriedly stop the elder. Did you say dual cultivation partners? Yes, dual cultivation partners. Didn't the Supreme Sect Master explain it earlier? How we practice the lightning path method and how close the relationships among our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect disciples are. You being from the same head realm should know, shouldn't you? Quote, I didn't know, but that's not the point. What is dual cultivation? It's a method where two or more cultivators exchange their energies to amplify their cultivation practices. It's common for sworn brothers to sit side by side cultivating their methods, or for disciples of the same sect to create dual cultivation formations to exchange energies. However, the dual cultivation involving yin and yang, or male and female, is vastly different from these wholesome methods. Most dual cultivation techniques focusing on the exchange of yin and yang involve the use of intimate methods to amplify their energies, in other words, sexual techniques. Moreover, not just any dual cultivation, but the fact that the term, partners, is used, which refers to a couple in the cultivation world, makes it crystal clear. The elder in front of me is looking to find a woman for me to form a yin and yang dual cultivation partnership. Normally, we don't assign dual cultivation partners right after joining the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. This is because doing so could disrupt the gender balance. Typically, one can only form a dual cultivation partnership after mastering the basic techniques of the sect and passing the 7 stars ritual. Then why me? That's because for someone with a legendary constitution like you, forming a dual cultivation partnership early on helps everyone by quickly learning the true lightning path methods. Of course, this is. Snap. With a flick of his finger, a ball of light bursts from a flask at the elder's waist, converging towards the ground. Flash. The light shines brightly, and the lump of light transforms into the shape of a person. It's Jaeon Myung-hoon, unconscious. This fellow here, born with the heavenly golden thunder body, is the same. Both of you have awakened legendary bloodlines passed down in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, so quickly forming dual cultivation partnerships will benefit everyone immensely. Quote, I remain silent for a moment. This is troublesome. I had made up my mind through multiple cycles whether to give my affection to a fated partner or not. If there's someone I can give my affection to in that life, I will, because they are irreplaceable and unique to that life. This will be the same no matter how many cycles I go through. That is my principle, but this case is different. Becoming a couple and sharing affection isn't just about meeting someone. It's about forming a bond. Even if it's without love and just as dual cultivation partners, facing each other for decades will inevitably lead to affection. Furthermore, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect will eventually be destroyed by the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner. It's not like everything gets resolved just because I don't call out Zhengli's name and keep my mouth shut. As my whole body turned into lightning and underwent return, I gradually gained knowledge about lightning. Through that, I gradually realized the attraction between the Heavenly Lightning Banner and its owner. Whether I call Zhengli's name or not, the owner of the Heavenly Lightning Banner will inevitably come to the bright cold realm due to the attraction linked with their immortal treasure. From the moment it left the head realm, it was fated to happen. I cannot afford to give my affection carelessly until I seal the Heavenly Lightning Banner in the head realm. Moreover, if I find a dual cultivation partner while I still have Kim Yeon, perhaps the moment I rescue Kim Yeon from the Mad Lord, Kim Yeon might turn me into a true Grand General right away, so it's better to be cautious. I would like to start with the basics. I express my opinion to the Heavenly Being Stage Elder. I do not wish to be treated specially just because I possess a unique constitution. I want to build my foundation from the basics of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and gradually progress upwards. Among the two elders who stayed behind to find dual cultivation partners for Jaeon Myung-hoon and me, one nodded in agreement while the other looked displeased. In principle, that's correct. But to waste such talent until the 7 stars ritual. Their opinions are divided. After a moment of contemplation, they sigh and lift Jaeon Myung-hoon. Come on, wake up. Zap. One of the elders shocked the unconscious Jaeon Myung-hoon with electricity, causing him to tremble and scream. Arg. Firstly, the bearded elder grabs Jaeon Myung-hoon's head and begins to draw out his spiritual energy. It's clear he's quickly injecting knowledge of the human race, Grand Alliance, common language and other essential information into Jaeon Myung-hoon's mind. Ah! Jaeon Myung-hoon screams in resistance to the forced knowledge, but he can't escape from the hands of the heavenly being stage elder. I watch the scene with a bittersweet feeling. Had I been weaker or less knowledgeable, I would have been in that situation. It makes me realize how threatening beings of the heavenly being stage are simply by existing, even to someone like me. Now, with the power of treading heavens and the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I'm not scared at all since I can fight on equal terms with one of the elders in front of me in a short-term battle. But back in the head realm, not to mention a heavenly being stage cultivator, even a nascent soul stage cultivator was a great source of fear for me. Let's set an initial goal for this life to accumulate power as quickly as possible. Even if I just recover my original cultivation. No, if I recover the cultivation of the 16th cycle where I had achieved the Yang spirit, I can quickly leap over the late nascent soul stage and even grand perfection. That would bring me right to the doorstep of the heavenly being stage. In this life, I will definitely reach the heavenly being stage. I'm not merely aiming for something like the mid-stage of nascent soul. I will break through to the heavenly being stage without fail. For some reason, the heaven tribe method, earth tribe method, and the realm beyond treading heavens. If I manage to advance all three together, I have an intuition that something will definitely change starting from the heavenly being stage. Meanwhile, Jaeon Myung-hoon, who has somewhat regained consciousness, holds his head in confusion and looks around. He must be disoriented, suddenly kidnapped by Jin Baek-ho, then waking up in a strange place, and then having strange knowledge injected into him. Can you understand me now? Startled by the question from the heavenly being stage elders, Jaeon Myung-hoon responds in a clumsy voice. Where is this? Who are you? Good, good. The language has been properly inputted. Not just the language, but we've also streamlined and input basic cultural knowledge of Shengxi, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, and the cultivation world, so you shouldn't need any explanations for the terminology. Yes. Golden, Heavenly Thunder Sect, cultivation world, ah. Jaeon Myung-hoon clutches his head, appearing to be in pain from the newly acquired knowledge. After a while, he opens his mouth with a trembling voice, his eyes shining. Is this a shanja novel? That kind of place? Quote. What's that? Jaeon Myung-hoon chuckles, holding his head. So, it turns out this place is a world within a shanja novel. And I must have entered into that novel. Is this a book transmigration story? Haha, it's clearly the world of the novel, Thunder Taoist, I was reading. Quote. I pitifully look down at Jaeon Myung-hoon, who is failing to distinguish reality. It seems he thinks he's in a shanja novel he used to sneak reads it during work. But it's not. I have a rough idea of what he was reading. But it's entirely different from the start. Believing he has become the protagonist of a novel, Jaeon Myung-hoon arrogantly speaks to the heavenly being stage elders. Alright, tell me again. What partnership were you trying to form with me? And with those words, the elders frown. Quote. Before dual cultivation, it seems we need to teach you manners first. Whack. An elder smacks Jaeon Myung-hoon on the head, causing him to faint on the spot again. After Jaeon Myung-hoon faints, the elders sigh as they look at me. You and this fellow are colleagues, but why does he act so arrogantly towards elders he meets for the first time? Does he know he has a heavenly golden thunder body? Quote. I don't know. His personality is just like this. He grew up in a noble family and lacks a bit of etiquette, so please understand. Is that so? He still hasn't shed his worldly desires, then. The elders shake their heads in disapproval. Then, for now, you will start learning the basic techniques once the sect stabilizes, and this fellow will be taught manners before being assigned a dual cultivation partner. Who should we entrust with teaching him manners? Everyone will be busy stabilizing the sect for a while. We can leave it to Sohei. She was originally a member of the discipline hall, capturing and interrogating disciples who violated the sect's rules. Being a direct descendant of the supreme sect leader, she will be protected within the sect during this stabilization period. That's perfect. Thus, Jeon Myung-hoon and I are spared from immediately forming dual cultivation partnerships. Wo Wang. I look up at the sky along with the unconscious Jeon Myung-hoon and the two elders. The entire Thunder Spirit Island is trembling, and lightning begins to writhe across the sky. The traitor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect who entered Thunder Cloud Peak, come out within the count of 10. Jin Baek-ho sternly held up the Heavenly Lightning Banner, staring at Thunder Cloud Peak. The summit of Thunder Cloud Peak, where the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is most concentrated. The edge of Thunder Cloud Peak begins to vibrate with lightning energy. Is that the traitor who betrayed the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect decades ago? A peak 4-axis stage. Jin Baek-ho made a quick decision. A fearsome senior of the sect who has mastered the Taiji quaking lighting body to its extreme. Delaying even a moment would result in Jin Baek-ho being at a disadvantage. 1, 2, 10. Jin Baek-ho finishes counting and immediately swings the Heavenly Lightning Banner. Kurururung. The entire Thunder Spirit Island is shaken by the lightning summoned by the Heavenly Lightning Banner. Kururung. Lightning completely envelops the vicinity of Thunder Cloud Peak. The Heavenly Being Stage Elders of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect all erect protective barriers behind Jin Baek-ho to shield themselves from the power of lightning. ZZZT, ZZZT, ZZZT. However, even as lightning envelops Thunder Cloud Peak and the entire Thunder Spirit Island, Jin Baek-ho feels a tingling sensation throughout his body. That being, qualified to reach the integration stage. Incredible. Practically a grand cultivator on the verge of the integration stage. They are one of the few monsters in the long history of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect close to reaching the integration stage, aside from the direct disciples of Yang Su Jin. Perhaps if it weren't for the arrival of those with the Heavenly Golden Thunder body and Lightning Sacred body, Jin Baek-ho might have chosen not to kill that being but rather to spare their life and have them abandon their cultivation. But now, the sect no longer needs such a traitor. The Heavenly Golden Thunder body is in their hands. It is time to recreate the renown of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect that once spread across the entire continent and beyond into the 3,000 great worlds during Yang Su Jin's era. An unfavorable precedent should just be cut off. Kururung. Jin Baek-ho further infuses the Heavenly Lightning Banner with power, intensifying the lightning's might. Kwajijijik. A bead of sweat begins to roll down Jin Baek-ho's forehead. Wo Wang. A gigantic Taiji symbol emerges amidst the lightning. As the symbol of yin and yang rotates, it absorbs the lightning of the Heavenly Lightning Banner from where the Thunder Cloud Peak stands. Kurring. Kurururung. In the spaces with nothing but radiance from lightning. The flow of Taiji appears, consuming the lightning and revealing the form of Thunder Cloud Peak once more. At the very top of the Thunder Cloud Peak, there is a small pavilion. Above that pavilion, the Taiji symbol transfers the power of the consumed lightning into the interior of the pavilion. You, a mere blood clot, dare to oppose an elder of the sect when our difference spans 40,000 years. Zing. Jin Baek-ho feels his head ringing and his innards churning at the opponent's voice. Don't make me laugh, Yin Wei. You were expelled by the ancestral command, so it's only right to remove the Jaein surname that's given to those qualified as sect leaders. How dare someone like you call yourself an elder of the sect? Do you know how much the status of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect fell because of your betrayal 40,000 years ago? You deserve to pay for your sins. 40,000 years ago, even your great-great-grandfather hadn't been born, so what gives you the right to prattle on so insolently? Do you even know what I did for the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? Crack, crack, crack. The pavilion from which the voice emanates begins to split apart. And then, Kwang, the roof of the pavilion bursts open and a long arm protrudes from within. Jin Baek-ho begins to sweat coldly. At that time, the name of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, which received the mantle from the ancestor, should not have existed in the Middle Realm. That's why I painstakingly erased all traces of the ancestor. A gigantic arm, thin and emitting lightning energy, an arm the size of a small hill. Kugugugu. Soon, another arm pops out of the pavilion. And in the cramped pavilion, the figure of a giant monstrous creature begins to appear. And what are you doing now? Not content with bringing that ominous being up to the Middle Realm, you dare to confront an elder of the sect with it. What nonsense! The Heavenly Lightning Banner has been revered as a sacred artifact of our sect for generations. Don't speak blasphemously. That ominous creature has been revered as a sacred artifact. After the incident 40,000 years ago, how much has the sect fallen? The golden divine heavenly thunder sect is doomed. O ancestor, how could you abandon your descendants? Kugugugugu. Finally, the true form of Wei is revealed before Jin Baek-ho. That's the appearance of Jin Wei, who mastered the Taiji quaking lightning body. With hair both black and white, a withered giant with two heads begins to rise above Thundercloud Peak. The black-haired head is oddly decorated with colorful and luxurious makeup, while the white-haired head has drool dripping down, with a beard attached. On the giant's back, 4 ghastly drums are hanging in a circle, each drum painted with the symbols of Lesser Yin, Lesser Yang, Greater Yin Taiyin, and Greater Yang Taiyang representing the 4 symbols. Come, let's see you try, Junior. I hope you can defeat me. If you lose, I will have to engulf all my juniors to avoid disaster, covering the heavens with calamity as I weep tears. The voices of both a man and a woman overlap, causing Jin Baek-ho and the heavenly being stage elders to spit out a mouthful of blood. The legend of the cannibalistic monster who devoured their fellow disciples is true. Despicable, I will punish you right here. Nothing is more unsightly than babbling without knowing what happened. Seeing you reach the 4-axis stage so quickly, your talent seems similar to mine, but I am not the 4-axis you imagine. Keying. Above the drums adorned with the 4 symbols on the giant's back, characters rise up. Longevity, wealth, health, and earth. Kurururung. All the lightning swirling around Thunder Spirit Island begins to converge towards Thundercloud Peak. Above Thundercloud Peak, a thunder god, holding 6 flags of 6 colors in 6 arms and floating the heavenly lightning banner above his head, emerges. In front of him, a ghastly ghost with 2 heads, black and white, rises, devouring the lightning. The tremendous battle between the 2 entities shakes the heavens and the earth. Kurururung. The 2 heavenly being stage elders cast a protective barrier and come out to protect Jeon Myung-hoon. I, from outside the protective barrier, sweat coldly at the aftermath, swirling around. Is this the power of Yi and Wei in their prime and Jin Baek-ho wielding the heavenly lightning banner? Jin Baek-ho himself is not so strong that I would lose to him in a fight. However, once he wields the heavenly lightning banner, he displays a ferociously powerful force as if to upheave the heavens and earth. That power seems almost on par with Gyu Ryan, who was at a level just shy of an integration stage demon king. Kurring, kurururung, quote. Amidst the shaking of the heavens and earth, I gasp at the sight of the 6-color thunder god gradually being pushed back by the 2-headed ghost from afar. What's going on? Yi and Wei is pressing Jin Baek-ho. It's exactly as it appears. The ghost with scattered black and white hair devours the lightning and, regurgitating it, presses the attack on the 6-color thunder god. With each reflected attack, the thunder god is pushed back. And just as the skinny 2-headed giant is about to rush at the thunder god, the 6-color thunder god absorbs all 6 flags it holds in its hands and grips the heavenly lightning banner with its 6 arms. The heavenly lightning banner absorbs the surrounding lightning, increasing in size and becoming just the right size for the thunder god to wield. Seeing this, Yi and Wei suddenly begins to scream. You madman, what are you trying to do? Stop it, how do you plan to deal with the consequences? Yi and Wei's voice booms so loudly across Thunder Spirit Island that the heavenly being stage elders and we all feel the anger in the voice and are terrified. Soon, a curtain of the 4-axis stage formed by lightning envelops the 2 beings, swallowing them. The 2-headed giant ghost with disheveled hair, Yi and Wei, glares at Jin Baek-ho with bloodshot eyes. You've foolishly undone 1 layer of that monster's seal. Such a foolish choice to end an internal strife. Now that you've undone a seal that only the ancestor could set, it's even easier for that monster to bring about calamity. What kind of idiotic thought led you to unlock the seal? In a quieter voice than before, Yi and Wei rebukes Jin Baek-ho. However, Jin Baek-ho merely sneers and swings the enlarged heavenly lightning banner. I'm well aware of the seal that the ancestor placed on the heavenly lightning banner. It's a seal that only the heavenly golden thunder body can manage, correct? Yes, you fool. Without the mythical heavenly golden thunder body, restoring the seal is impossible. Your sin is greater than mine, who devoured fellow disciples while weeping blood. It's fine. What? Kurring, kurururung. The thunder god shouts, swinging the enlarged heavenly lightning banner with its 6 arms. I've already obtained the heavenly golden thunder body. Even if I've undone a layer of the seal, once the heavenly golden thunder body reaches the mid-stage of nascent soul, it can be restored. You've obtained the heavenly golden thunder body. Yi and Wei just looks at Jin Baek-ho, dumbfounded, neither dodging nor absorbing the lightning striking them. As if trying to discern the truth in Jin Baek-ho's words. Their 4 eyes stare at Jin Baiko. After a while, Yi and Wei is struck directly by the enhanced power of the heavenly lightning banner and turns into ashes. Thus, Yi and Wei, who had lived for 40,000 years and was on the cusp of becoming a grand cultivator, falls. Only ashes remain on the summit of Thunder Cloud Peak. Jin Baiko, having released Thunder God transformation, looks at Yi and Wei's body that is now a giant piece of charcoal leaning on Thunder Cloud Peak. Any last words? You've obtained the heavenly golden thunder body. Ha nonsense. Then, what I did 40,000 years ago. For what purpose, for what did my fellow disciples? The strange voice that overlaps male and female voices soon merges into one, transforming into a woman's voice as smooth as jade. After rambling for a while, she lifts one charred neck with a trembling voice. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect will again enjoy fame for thousands of generations. Congratulations. Is that your last word? My sins may be unforgivable, but I cannot allow the heavenly golden thunder body to accumulate the wrong kind of Axis Foundation, so let me teach you about the Orthodox Axis Foundation. Orthodox Axis? Yes, it's a truth I heard from a Black Ghost Valley's ghost cultivator from the Nether Ghost Realm during the war 40,000 years ago. Rustle. As the charcoal throat begins to crumble, Yi and Wei and Jin Baiko exchange a few words amid their brief exchange. Send someone to the Nether Ghost Realm. You might learn more. I will do so. I may be the sect's greatest sinner, but at least in the end, I could provide valuable information for the sect. Goodbye. Rustle. Finally, the giant charcoal remains of Yi and Wei scatter completely, leaving only a woman's body behind. Although entirely turned into charcoal by the lightning, making it impossible to discern its original form, Jin Baiko closes his eyes and bows his head for a moment in respect for Yi and Wei, a senior of the sect who had died. Rest in peace, Seni. And then, flash, a lump of light flickers from Yi and Wei's body and flies away at the speed of lightning. As Jin Baiko and the other heavenly being stage elders relaxed their vigilance, the swiftly flying lump of light took advantage of the gap. Watching the lump of light, sparks fly from Jin Baiko's eyes. Damn it, was it all an act? Kururung. As Jin Baiko swings the heavenly lightning banner, a bolt of lightning strikes the fleeing soul of Yi and Wei. Though the soul seems to stagger from the lightning strike, it continues flying somewhere without stopping. Jin Baiko eventually gives up chasing it. She must have hidden a body somewhere for resurrection. That kind of speed comes from the resurrection body, pulling it from the opposite side. What should we do, sect leader? If the sect's betrayer, the mad monster, regains her power and appears again? HMPH. That won't be easy. Her soul was directly hit by the heavenly lightning banner's lightning, so it will take at least 500 years just to recover her vitality. By that time, the heavenly golden thunder body that came to us will surely be able to reach the integration stage. Jin Baiko commands while holding the heavenly lightning banner. Since the greatest force of Thunder Cloud Pavilion is dead, quickly drive out the rest and stabilize the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. And, we must send someone to the Nether Ghost Realm, so assemble an exploration team. Also, search throughout Thunder Spirit Island for the descendants of Yi and Wei. Excluding those who came up this time, arrest and scrutinize all with the Jin surname. The fiend will surely seek to resurrect using one of her descendants. The day the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect set foot in Thunder Spirit Island, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect began to stabilize quickly. Anyway, even though the sect is busy stabilizing, we can't waste your talent. Starting today, I will become your teacher and start teaching you the basics. Jinhee Trembling Radiance, the current vice sect leader of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and a grand elder of the Heavenly Being stage Grand Perfection stage. It was decided that Jinhee would become my teacher. Originally, Jaeon Myung-hoon was supposed to learn the basics with me, but since he needed to be indoctrinated with the culture and etiquette of this world along with Jin So-hae, he will join the training a few days later. I enter the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's scripture pavilion with Jinhee. The scripture pavilion, which the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect had uprooted whole from Shattered Heaven Peak, is overwhelmingly vast and extensive, even more so than the Azure Heaven Creation sect's scripture pavilion. The sect's methods are vast, but the most famous are these three. Jinhee takes out 3 method manuals from within the archive. 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture, Taiji Quaking Lightning Body, and Extinguishing Lightning Inner Heavenly Temple. The 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture is the method used by Jin Baek-ho and Jaeon Myung-hoon to transform into a 6-color giant and manipulate 7 colors of lightning. The Taiji Quaking Lighting Body is the method mastered by Yi and Wei and Yi and Jin. And the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple is said to be a method optimized for conducting rituals to the heavens by forming a thunder palace within the body, granting extreme resistance to lightning attribute spells. Choose what you most want to learn. Without hesitation, I answer. I want to learn them all. Chapter 224, Black Snake 2. You want to learn them all. At my words, Jinhee looks at me with a disbelief for a moment before stroking his beard. Normally, I would have scolded you for being greedy, but for the lighting sacred body, that might be a different story. But what exactly is the sacred lightning body? I ask, something I've been curious about for a while. At that, Jinhee kindly explains. If the heavenly golden thunder body is considered to have the quality of being loved by all lightning, then the sacred lightning body is a physique that is lightning itself. It's said to be a physique where lightning has transformed into a human body. Therefore, there are no restrictions in learning all kinds of lightning methods, and the practice speed of lightning methods is much faster than those with ordinary spiritual roots. Interesting. In fact, all the lightning methods of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect were created to become our founder, the Golden Deity. Quote. Jinhee looks at my body, which occasionally sparks with lightning if not controlled, and continues. The heavenly golden thunder body of our ancestor, who aimed to control all the lightning across the 3,000 worlds and even sought to grasp the heavenly tribulation in his hand. The beginning of our sect aimed to imitate that heavenly golden thunder body. Therefore, all the lightning methods in our text are essentially inferior versions of the heavenly golden thunder body. Jinhee's explanation continues with a self-mocking tone. However, the heavenly golden thunder body is, as the name suggests, a physique out of legends. No matter how much one cultivates lightning methods in a human body, reproducing myths is an absurd idea, but during the revival era of our sect in the ancient times, the sacred lightning body appeared. A legendary constitution indeed, but less fanciful than the heavenly golden thunder body. It became a physique that could serve as a bridge for our sect's lightning methods that aimed to imitate the heavenly golden thunder body. Snap. Jinhee grabs my shoulder and says with a serious look, your innate sacred lightning body is a stepping stone for humans to reach the heavenly golden thunder. When the sacred lightning body appeared in our sect back then, our lightning methods, which were once a secretive method only understood by the direct lineage of our ancestor, became accessible to countless disciples, expanding the influence of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Now that the heavenly golden thunder body and the sacred lightning body have entered our sect together, your role is crucial going forward. I will bear that in mind. Originally, I would have discouraged mastering all methods as your master. However, with you and Jeon Myung-hoon joining the sect is bound to grow exponentially. So, I will entrust the future to you and give you my permission. Jinhee hands me 3 books. 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture, Taiji Quaking Lighting Body, Extinguishing Lightning Inner Heavenly Temple. I take the 3 methods and thank Jinhee. Just like how the Azure Heaven Creation sect has rankings from the 5th Cloud Disciple to the 1st Cloud Disciple, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect also has rankings among disciples, and they wear belts indicating their rank. The names of the ranks were taken from the most famous method of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, starting from the 7 Lightning Quaking Scripture. Disciples who had not passed the 7 stars ritual are given a belt marked with red lightning, known as Red Lightning Disciples. Those who pass the 7 stars ritual are Vermilion Lightning Disciples. Those who reach the extreme in Chi refining are Yellow Lightning Disciples. Red, Vermilion, Yellow. These 3 ranks are collectively referred to as Lower Lightning Disciples, responsible for menial tasks within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Only those from the Chi building stage onwards are considered part of the true force of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Chi building disciples are Green Lightning Disciples, Core Formation disciples are Blue Lightning Disciples. Those who show potential to reach the nascent soul stage in Core Formation are considered Indigo Lightning Disciples and recognized as Upper Lightning Disciples, the future of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Those who reach the nascent soul stage are treated as Elders and are grouped as Purple Lightning, receiving purple belts. Furthermore, from the Heavenly Being Stage Elders, a gold belt marked with golden lightning, named after the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, is awarded. Among the few Grand Elders leading the sect, they receive a white belt marked with heavenly lightning. Only 1 or 2 individuals, including the Supreme Sect Master Jin Baek-ho, wear the belt of heavenly lightning. I received a green belt from Jinhee, symbolizing a Chi-building disciple. Considering your talent and the dense heaven and earth spiritual energy of the bright cold realm, reaching the Chi building stage should be quick. Hence, your rank will be Green Lightning Disciple for now. Understood. And, the 3 methods I gave you are not for you to learn right now. You need to reach at least core formation to attempt those methods. What you will learn next is the accumulating lightning technique, the basic method of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Yes, I take the accumulating lightning technique. With Jinhee's permission, I open the book containing the accumulating lightning technique and also unfold the 7 lightning quaking scripture. Master, this accumulating lightning technique. Yes, it's very similar to the early part of the 7 lightning quaking scripture, isn't it? It is. The accumulating lightning technique is almost identical to the early part of the 7 lightning quaking scripture, the red lightning quaking scripture. It's just a slightly simplified version of a few parts of the red lightning quaking scripture, made understandable for chi refining disciples. When I show confusion, Jinhee explains. The 7 lightning quaking scripture was personally created by our ancestor. It's the most crucial method in the 120,000-year history of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. As such, many disciples attempt to master the 7 lightning quaking scripture, and to ensure they don't face difficulties when they later practice the 7 lightning quaking scripture, we modified its initial part to be familiar from the chi refining stage. That is what this accumulating lightning technique is. I see. After spending some time with Jinhee, getting explanations regarding the accumulating lightning technique, the 7 lightning quaking scripture, Taiji quaking lighting body, extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, and receiving a bit more teaching on lightning methods, I return to my assigned cave residence. Wo Wang, as I have the lightning sacred body, the cave residence where the best spiritual vein of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect flows is given to me, and I enter deeper into the cave residence to inhale spiritual energy. Accumulating lightning technique, I look into the accumulating lightning technique, the foundation of lightning methods. Lightning path methods are among the most difficult to master of all attribute methods. Initially, the lightning attribute is not included in the 5 elements. The lightning path method is not naturally developed from the 5 elements spiritual roots but only came into existence after the cultivation method system had developed significantly. Thus, there are 2 ways for those born with 5 elements spiritual roots to learn the lightning path method. One either had to be born with wood attribute spiritual roots, or forcibly cultivate the power of lightning within oneself through the exchange of yin and yang. For those not born with wood attribute spiritual roots wanting to learn lightning methods, the exchange of yin and yang is essential. However, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect only finds dual cultivation partners for those who have passed the 7 stars ritual. What does that mean? It means that cultivators in the lower realms who have not passed the 7 stars ritual have to find a way to facilitate the exchange of yin and yang within their own bodies or forcefully draw in lightning power from the outside. How to draw in lightning power from the outside? It's simple. Either consume a large amount of elixirs with lightning properties, undergo lightning torture by seniors, or stand in areas where lightning strikes to be hit by lightning directly. Naturally, all 3 methods require either a significant amount of resources or risking one's life. Therefore, many cultivators of the red lightning rank in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect often chose to pass the 7 stars ritual using basic methods sold externally, like the 5 surpassing paths to cultivation, before engaging in dual cultivation to learn the sect's methods afterward. Of course, I don't need to do that. Is this the accumulating lightning technique? Since I already possess the 5 elements spiritual roots, I can manifest the power of lightning through my wood attribute spiritual root. Wood symbolizes thunder, lightning, or gen in the Bagua, making me sufficiently qualified. Tingling, tingling. As I begin to practice the method, a tingling static electricity rises from the tips of my fingers. Wo Wang. I inhale and immediately form the Law Transformation Dantian. Inside the Dantian, yin and yang intertwine, forming the Law Transformation Dantian of the Qi gathering stage. Then, let's give it a try. I qualified to enter the Qi refining stage. Wo Wang. I release the colorless glass swords inside my inner core. TSST, TSSTSSTSSTS. The cultivation stored in the colorless glass swords through the canvas of myriad forms and connections begin to flood back into me. Shall I practice the lightning path method? I also possess wood attribute spiritual roots. I have the method to embody the exchange of yin and yang on my own through demon beast methods. Moreover, through the curse of lightning transformation, lightning power is supplied internally rather than externally. Having repeated the Qi refining stage several times, the essentials of the Qi refining stage are deeply ingrained. Additionally, the cultivation from the last cycle is also stored through the canvas of myriad forms and connections in the colorless glass swords. Crackle, crackle, crackle. I absorb the dense spiritual energy inside my cave residence, operating the demon beast methods, the 5 surpassing paths to cultivation, and the accumulating lightning technique simultaneously. Crackle. The lightning of the accumulating lightning technique, which was nothing but a tingling static electricity, amplifies into a visible lightning the moment I begin my cultivation. Crackle. Blue lightning surges and writhes above my hands. 72 spirit meridians. In an instant, all 72 spirit meridians are activated. Simultaneously, the yin and yang inside the dantian explodes, and the demon beast method also transforms to correspond to the realm of first star in the chi refining stage. Adding a bit more of the accumulating lightning technique's intricacies to the flow of yin and yang of the demon beast method, the energy of the lightning becomes even fiercer. 36 spiritual natures. 36 spiritual natures form all over, and the demon beast method grows just as much. The thickness of the lightning surging from my hands increases even more. 12 earthly branches. 12 types of spiritual waves existing in spiritual energy are caught in my grasp. 10 heavenly stems. 10 changes of spiritual energy guides the spiritual power. 9 palaces, 8 trigrams. I quickly pass the stages of the 9 palaces and the complete 8 trigrams. In an instant, I reach the 6th star of chi refining stage. To proceed to the 7th star of chi refining, it's necessary to align with the celestial energy and auspicious timing. However, the demon beast method inside my body continues to rise, causing yin and yang to collide. As a result, the lightning power of the accumulating lightning technique becomes even fiercer. At some point, the collision of yin and yang reaches its peak. Boom, pop, my dantian explodes, not figuratively, but literally. Blood spurts from my lower abdomen and blood gushes from my mouth. Demon beast methods are very simple. It's literally just about repeatedly causing the explosion of yin and yang energy inside the dantian. Then, are demon beast methods, the earth tribe method, any less difficult than the heaven tribe method? Absolutely not. Such is the nature of the demon beast method. If the body cannot endure, it explodes and leads to death. Only the strong survive to become stronger. If the heaven tribe method is about offering rituals to the heavens to permit cultivation, the earth tribe method involves burning oneself. If you survive, you were granted permission by the world. If you die, you were not granted permission. A survival of the fittest approach. Of course. TSST, TSS 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 TS. I quickly activate the formless sword, summoning it in the form of threads to quickly seal the wounds with my medical knowledge, regenerating with spiritual energy. The exploded energy of the demon beast method turns into pure life force, aiding in regeneration. I need to explode a few more times. Both heaven tribe and earth tribe methods are always a critical point at the 7th star. While the heaven tribe method requires aligning with the heavenly timing, the earth tribe method, having nothing to do with timing, measures pure luck and physical strength. In some ways, it is arguably more challenging than heaven tribe methods. Boom, 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 pop, pop, pop. Only after my lower abdomen burst open several times was I barely able to surpass the chi refining 7th star. Phew, the demon beast method doesn't need auspicious timing. But if I had practiced the demon beast method during my chi refining days, could I have easily passed the 7th star? I probably would have died without properly responding to the explosion. Of course, it's good to know that if you get the hang of it, you can surpass the chi refining 7th star without any rituals. I'll perform the ritual for the heaven tribe method later. Boom, boom, boom. I continue to operate the demon beast method, regaining my cultivation. TSST, TSS 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 TSS. The Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, which I modified through the vast cold formula into a demon beast method, gradually emits blue light, dyeing my body. Boom. Finally, I instantly recover to the peak stage of chi refining. Wo Wang, what was once my inner core has now become a demon core, swollen with pure life force. Wo Wang, I explode the demon core again, raising my state to just before entering the chi building stage. After cleaning up my blood-stained clothes and changing, I head outside. The various locations of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sector in the process of replacing the buildings used previously at Thunder Cloud Peak, mounting the halls of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect brought up from the lower realm onto various mountain peaks. Now, connecting these halls to the spiritual veins flowing through the mountain peaks and activating the sect's Grand Array formation will finally complete the proper establishment of the sect. I quickly use the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to hide my presence and then fly to a secluded area of Thunder Spirit Island using the formless sword. Previously, I had been afraid to use the formless sword because the administrator of Sky Island is watching. However, after having a conversation with Jangik in the astral realm and discussing the integration stage Grand Cultivator Wei Ryong Son, who monitors the human territory everywhere within the human race Grand Alliance, I learned that Wei Ryong Son's detection ability is not absolute. Instead, using my record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I would definitely not be detected by him. That's why, when I snuck into Thunder Spirit Island to steal the Heavenly Lightning Banner during my 15th cycle using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, Wei Ryong Son couldn't detect me. After finding a suitable mountain peak on Thunder Spirit Island, I absorbed the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword and the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy. Kugugugu. Instantly, the sky wavers and dark clouds gather around. Kurring. The demon core operates the spiritual energy as if it's going to explode. Break it. How does the demon race ascend to the chi building stage? By devouring a massive amount of spiritual energy and then exploding it all at once within the demon core. Naturally, an explosion strong enough to shatter the demon core occurs. From there, if the shattered demon core is reconstituted, activating all of the spiritual meridians throughout the body and firmly connecting them to the demon core, one ascends to the chi building stage. If it fails, the demon beast loses all their cultivation and turns into a regular beast. Kwang. Without hesitation, I shatter the demon core. The spiritual power forming the demon core disperses throughout my blood vessels, circulating inside arteries and veins, red and blue, aligning the cycle of yin and yang. Yin in the veins, yang in the arteries. And all the yin and yang energies meet again in the heart, that is, the middle dantian. Kugugugu. My heart swells as if it's about to burst, and just before it explodes, I send all the energy gathered in the middle dantian down to the lower dantian. Gather the energy, condense it. TSST, TSSTSSTSSTS. The flow of yin and yang intertwines again in the lower dantian, beginning to form a solid, demon core. Simultaneously, my internal energy, which had been somewhat confused with spiritual power, transforms into definite, demonic power, enriching my body with vitality. Wo Wang. Yin and yang energies extending from the demon core circulate through the arteries and veins in my body, gathering in the heart, and the demonic power of primordial chaos collected in the heart returns to the demon core. The core fully connects with the flesh. This energy, a fusion of spiritual energy and life force, is precisely demonic power. At the same time, a streak of blue lightning from the sky flies towards me. Under normal circumstances, I would have cut the blue lightning with the formless sword. However, I operate the accumulating lightning technique and open all the pores in my body towards the sky. Absorb. Crackle. A tremendous amount of lightning power accumulates in the dantian. I cannot directly convert it into spiritual power without passing the 7 stars ritual, but I can hold it with the accumulating lightning technique. Once I pass the 7 stars ritual, this immense power of tribulation lightning can be immediately converted into cultivation, and the heaven tribe method can also be swiftly elevated to the peak chi refining stage. It's not over yet. Further on, Kurring. Yin and yang continue to collide. My realm, which had reached the early stages of chi building, consumes the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword and once again reaches grand perfection of chi building. Explode. Kwang. The explosion of ascending to the core formation stage is incomparable to the explosion of ascending to chi building. Ascending to chi building merely requires shattering the demon core, but ascending to core formation demands a much more powerful explosion. While losing the demon core in chi building merely results in losing cultivation and reverting to a beast, exploding the demon core when reaching core formation will likely result in fatal injuries, such that even if one reverts to a beast, they live with disabilities. Wo Wang. However, I create a gang sphere inside the demon core again and reform my inner core. The inner core, situated at the center of the demon core, will help mitigate the explosive force. Go. The blue light of the Azure Spirit Striking Origin Technique, the starlight of the Starlight Protecting Void Body, and the multicolored light of the 5 Elements Enduring Origin Scripture shine within the demon core. Boom. A gush of blood flows from my mouth. But, it's done. I can handle this level of shock. The exploded demon core sweeps through the blood vessels again. Yin and yang energies, divided into veins and arteries, gather in the heart. But when reaching core formation, it does not go down to the lower dantian. Rise. TSST, TSSTSSTSSTS. The tremendous demonic power gathered in the heart heads towards the upper dantian. Thus, by fully activating the upper dantian, spiritual meridians are generated in every part of the upper, middle, and lower dantians of the demon race. And again, when demonic power is instilled in the upper dantian, the energy is sent back down to the lower dantian. In this way, the upper, middle, and lower dantians are tightly interconnected, resulting in a much stronger and more robust demon core than before. This is the demon race's core formation stage. Kururum. Once again, I reach out my hand towards the heavenly lightning flying towards me. I want to absorb it with the accumulating lightning technique, but I have already exceeded the limit of what can be absorbed with it. Licking my lips, I split the heavenly lightning. Then, for the last time, Kwang. Even in the core formation stage, I do not stop and continue to absorb the cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword. Kwang. And finally, at a certain moment, TSST, TSSTSSTSSTS. My consciousness begins to compress into a form identical to myself. The compressed consciousness enters my body and begins to settle inside the demon core. Inside the dark clouds, along with the blue lightning, golden lightning wriggles. Kurururum. Dual-colored heavenly lightning strikes down. Kwajijijik. Unfazed, I stand up while covered with the formless sword, receiving the lightning. Since I am still using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, there is no worry of being detected. Wo Wang. After experiencing a rapid flashback, a baby-shaped consciousness and a conglomerate of demonic power inside my body. A nascent soul is born, and I open my eyes and look up at the sky. Piet, Fwak. Then, as I leap towards the sky, my body cuts through the dual-colored lightning and pierces the dark clouds to reach above them. Phew! Around me, 3,000 colorless glass swords follow me up. The power of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, modified into a Demon Beast method, swirls beneath me like yin and yang. Wo Wang. I retract the colorless glass swords back into the demon core and smile. Nascent soul staged, recovered. How many times have I repeated the process of recovering my cultivation? Now, in the case of the Earth Tribe method, which requires only the sacrifice of the body without any procedure. As long as I have the canvas of myriad forms and connections and the colorless glass swords to store cultivation, I can always recover my realm. In this life, I will definitely reach the heavenly being stage. One day into joining the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, I reaffirm my goal after recovering to the nascent soul stage. Chapter 225, Black Snake 3. Whoosh. While I am briefly enjoying the wind above the sky, I feel something approaching from afar, accompanied by a tingling sensation. Wei Ryong Son, one of the integration stage grand cultivators of the human race, dispatched his avatars as administrators to all the sky islands located within the human race Grand Alliance. In this state, he has the administrators monitor all matters, big and small, happening on the sky islands. The entity currently flying towards me must also be one of Wei Ryong Son's avatars, the Thunder Spirit Island Administrator. The energy emanating from Wei Ryong Son's avatar is at the heavenly being stage. Perhaps someone continuously facing heavenly tribulation on the Sky Island, but not being able to be identified due to the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, prompted him to come personally. Of course, even if he rushes here, there's nothing he can do if I decide to hide my tracks thoroughly. However, I suddenly feel my physical body twitching upon seeing the vigor of the entity flying towards me from a distance. Should I give it a go? Although the main body is at the integration stage, this avatar is just at the heavenly being stage. Suddenly, I am engulfed by the desire to confront Wei Ryong Son's avatar. Combining the power of treading heavens and the Earth Tribe's nascent soul stage, I should be more than capable of confronting someone at the heavenly being stage. Wo Wang. The talent of the immortal beast I had acquired in my previous life spews a misty fog, stimulating me. The power obtained from the formidable physical body of the demon race, along with the sharp energy emitted by the formless sword from treading heavens, surges throughout my body. The power of treading heavens hones my physical body to be as solid and sharp as a sword, while the power of the demon beast inherently enhances my physical power, thereby amplifying the efficiency of treading heavens' power several-fold. Adding the power of the newly acquired immortal beast and the colorless glass sword to the mix. Even without the cultivation of the Heaven Tribe, I should be able to. I feel confident enough to win against someone at the heavenly being stage. No, however, I suppress that desire. I'll wait for another opportunity. Wei Ryong Son, the Grand Cultivator who monitors the major and minor matters within the human race Grand Alliance. He is known to be weaker among those at the early stage of integration because he had not specialized in combat methods. But no matter what, an integration stage is still an integration stage, and if I confront him and kill the avatar, the real Wei Ryong Son will come here in person. Reluctantly postponing my encounter with Wei Ryong Son, I swing my hand towards the void. Swish! My hand, imbued with the formless sword, cleaves through the void and creates a blind spot of heaven and earth spiritual energy. I enter within the blind spot of perception, spiritual energy, and space. Using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, disappearing from Wei Ryong Son's sight like a phantom. Wei Ryong Son, unable to find me upon arrival, forms a hand seal and begins to use a surveillance method that envelops the entire Sky Island in an attempt to locate me. Bypassing the perplexed Wei Ryong Son, I once again land at an appropriate place on Thunder Spirit Island. It's a small city meant for the cultivators on Thunder Spirit Island, and it seems lively inside, possibly because a market is being held. It's been a while since I've been to a human race market. While hidden with the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I enter the market. Such a bustling place, filled with countless intent and consciousness, is the perfect spot to hide using the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Wei Ryong Son will probably focus more than usual to find me for a while, so I should stay hidden inside the market until the intensity of his surveillance spell weakens. Zing! I can feel Wei Ryong Son's surveillance spell unfold even more powerfully than usual. Noticing something unusual, a few nascent soul stage cultivators and core formation stage cultivators within the market look up to the sky. Anyway, maintaining such a strong surveillance spell over the entire Thunder Spirit Island at the Heavenly Being stage won't last long. It will probably return to its normal surveillance intensity before long. I comfortably tour the market while also gathering materials needed for Hong Fan's awakening. In my last life, I definitely only roamed around with Hong Fan. I remember not having any other companions besides Hong Fan. Perhaps, awakening Hong Fan and elevating his cultivation might bring back memories of my past life. As I am searching for materials for Hong Fan's spiritual awakening, it happens. This is a demon beast method brought in by the mystical scaled fish commanding sect this time. Take a look before you go. Hearing about a demon beast method, my interest is piqued, and I turn to look in that direction. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect has connections with Hyeonium, so it would be easier for them to source demon beast methods and such from the Earth Tribe territory. The seller of the demon beast method appears to be at the chi building stage, roughly a middle-aged man. In front of him lays several items that look like the shed snakeskin. Not just me, but several other chi building stage cultivators and early core formation stage cultivators approach the man upon hearing about the demon beast method. Where is the method manual? These shedskin are the demon beast methods. Unlike us from the Heaven Tribe who record techniques in books or jade slips, demon beasts inscribe their methods onto their bodies. Well, I've heard that the mystical scaled fish commanding sect occasionally sources demon beast methods from the Earth Tribe. A man with a goat beard sends a dubious look towards the merchant selling demon beast methods. How on earth are you selling demon beast methods obtained from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect? I was under the impression that the mystical scaled fish commanding sect only sells these methods to high-level cultivators. Haha, it seems you've been staying on Thunder Spirit Island for too long and are unaware of the circumstances of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. At the chi building stage cultivator's words, the man with the goat beard looks at him with an expression that says, then explain it properly. The demon beast methods that the mystical scaled fish commanding sect occasionally brings over from the Earth Tribe aren't carefully selected by the sect itself. Instead, merchants from the demon race gather numerous demon beast methods and then sell them off to the mystical scaled fish commanding sect in bulk. I, having a rough understanding of how demon merchants handle demon beast methods, nod along. To those merchants, demon beast methods are just one of the many resources they have in abundance. It's considered ideal for them to gather everything they can and sell it off to make a profit, especially when someone from the Heaven Tribe is willing to buy. And among those gathered demon beast methods, the mystical scaled fish commanding sect disposes of any that are too difficult for the human race to learn, too low level, or unstable. They only select the usable ones to sell to high-level cultivators. So, the methods you're selling are discarded methods. No, listen to the end. After the mystical scaled fish commanding sect selects the usable demon beast methods, there's always a category that needs to be dealt with. The man continues. Firstly, dragon race methods. Since the mystical scaled fish commanding sect is connected to the Dragon King of the Earth tribe, naturally the Dragon King would control and prevent any leaks to the Heaven tribe. Next are the bird race or bird category demon beast methods. Since the dragon race sometimes shows vulnerabilities to the bird race, those two are kept from leaking. Lastly, the serpent race methods. Serpent race? You mean snake demon beasts? Exactly. Serpent race demon beast methods are particularly troublesome for the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. However, they are not forbidden from being leaked. Since they've been purchased, the sect wants to make a profit but prefers not to sell them openly, so the mystical scaled fish commanding sect often ends up selling these serpent race demon beast methods off cheaply to just about anyone. That's how I was able to obtain demon beast methods from the sect myself. Why does the mystical scaled fish commanding sect dislike serpent race demon beast methods? Shouldn't they value serpent race methods the most since they are related to dragons? Is there a problem with the snake race methods? Who knows? From what I know, it's not so much about issues within the methods, but the mystical scaled fish commanding sect has a bad impression of snakes. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect has a bad impression of snakes. This is new information to me, sparking my curiosity. I focus on the conversation. Why would the mystical scaled fish commanding sect dislike snakes? I don't know the details. You'd have to ask them. Now, more importantly, isn't there a Taoist here truly interested in demon beast methods? While the mystical scaled fish commanding sect may not cultivate serpent race methods due to internal reasons, remember the legend that snakes can become dragons if they turn into a mugi. Perhaps using serpent race methods could be an opportunity to uncover the secrets of the most noble race in the Earth tribe, the dragon race methods. If that were possible, would the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, practically a puppet of the Black Dragon King, have allowed it to leak? Seemingly sharing my thoughts, the cultivators gathered here show expressions of disdain. The chi building stage cultivator, whether he is aware of it or not, continues to enthusiastically pitch the demon beast methods. If you find it difficult or undesirable to practice them yourself, why not take this opportunity to go to the demon beast store and purchase snake demon beasts to let your pet demon beast learn them? It's a great opportunity for your pet demon beast to learn authentic serpent race methods brought over from the Earth tribe's True Dragon Alliance. Still, it feels a bit off knowing these methods were discarded by the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Despite the merchant's pitch, the other cultivators seem uneasy and disperse in various directions, clicking their tongues. Seeing this, the chi building stage cultivator's face falls, and he slackens his grip on the snake skins. If you're going to do business, it might be better to improve your sales pitch. Revealing all the uncomfortable details like that isn't going to attract anyone's interest. Even one of the cultivators offers him advice on doing business before leaving only me in front of his stall. It seems the surveillance spell has weakened by now. Slyly, I casually release the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts and reveal myself in front of him, asking. Apart from those uncomfortable aspects of the methods you're selling, do they have any advantages? Ah, of course, senior. He looks up at me, realizing I am at least a mid-stage core formation cultivator or higher, and begins to explain while bowing his head. The serpent race believes in the legend of becoming dragons and constantly cultivates to become a mugi. While it's uncertain if they can truly become dragons, at least learning serpent race methods can make one a mugi. A mugi, you mean? Even the human race can become a mugi by learning these? No, it's not like that. It means gaining the power of an amugi. Of course, if you were to raise a snake demon beast as a pet, it wouldn't be a bad idea to let it learn these methods. I don't raise snake demon beasts. You don't have to raise a snake. Even if you raise carp, centipedes, turtles, lizards, or other demon beasts related to dragons, the serpent race methods would still be effective. Centipedes. I become intrigued by his words and ask. Centipedes can benefit from serpent race methods too? Yes. Don't they say if a centipede cultivates for 10,000 years, it can become a dragon? Since centipedes are related to dragons, the amugi becoming serpent race methods are effective. Since I came to buy materials for awakening Hongfan, and if Hongfan can also learn these demon beast methods, it seems not a bad idea to purchase them. It just so happens I'm considering raising a centipede demon beast myself, so why don't you give me a suitable method book for it? At my words, the chi building stage cultivator shows me the skins with a gleeful expression. Among the serpent race, scales that are closer to black are considered most auspicious. Therefore, the darker the color of the skin, the higher the grade of the serpent race method. Then, do you have any black snake skins? I'd like to get the best demon beast method available. Unfortunately, black snakes are considered very auspicious within the serpent race, so their skins do not leak out. Is that so? I remember the serpent race. I had a fleeting encounter with a few from the True Dragon Alliance. Most of the serpent race were known to be a patient race, focusing on their cultivation away from the world's turmoils, and those few I had encountered had such traits. It's probably because they mostly stay secluded and focus on cultivation that I hardly encountered them and don't know much. With that thought, I take one dark blue and one pure white shed snake skin from the Chi building stage cultivator and tuck them away. A centipede becoming a dragon with Hong Fan's talent, it might be possible. I don't know why, but somehow, it feels utterly natural to me that Hong Fan will become a great being. Wo Wang, I bury pieces of my nascent soul across various spiritual mountains on Thunder Spirit Island with the help of Yuan Yu. It's a secret technique that allows one to embed pieces of their nascent soul in places with spiritual veins so they can be retrieved later. It's similar to the blood souls of Yuan Li. However, the difference is that Yuan Li requires a massive amount of blood sacrifices to retrieve the blood souls buried in human inhabited areas. I don't need such blood sacrifices. If I reach the nascent soul stage in a day, I'd be treated not as a genius but as a monster or a spy with a hidden agenda. I have no intention of foolishly going to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and advertising, I've reached the nascent soul stage in just one day. I'll scatter my nascent soul for now and seal the demon core. Crackle. As Yuan Yu forms a hand seal, the energy flowing from his body seals the power within my demon core. Lastly, I summon the 5 elements blood curse banner and implant it in 5 places on the demon core. Plop, 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 plop. The 5 elements blood curse banner and Yuan Yu's spell completes the seal. Now, there's no way to discover that I reached the nascent soul stage using demon race methods. Only the pure power of the Heaven Tribe's Chi refining 6th star remains within me. If it's nascent soul in a day, I might be suspected. But Chi refining 6th star should be within a believable range. With that thought, I return to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Master, your unworthy disciple has come seeking assistance in my cultivation. I approach Jinhee, bowing and speaking to him. Jinhee looks at me with warm eyes and nods. Well, with your talent, you must have formed the Lot Transformation Dantian already. Is it the understanding of the 72 earthly Sha true words that trouble you? No, I've reached the 6th star of Chi refining. Quote, would you assist me with the 7 stars ritual? Jinhee's eyes widen as large as lanterns as he abruptly stands up. Do not lie, you were given the accumulating lightning technique in the morning, and you reached the 6th star of Chi refining by evening. Are you mocking your master? Quote, not just 6th star of Chi refining, I reached the nascent soul stage. If I had told him the truth, his reaction might not just be shock but possibly a heart attack. It's true, master, that's preposterous. Hand over your hand. I will check if you truly are at the 6th star of Chi refining. And so, I extend my hand to Jinhee, allowing him to verify my cultivation. Shortly after, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is turned upside down by the news that I had reached the 6th star of Chi refining within a day of receiving the basic cultivation method. Translator notes. Reminds me of when Kim Young-hoon turned the whatever sect upside down by reaching first rate. Chapter 226, Black Snake 4. The Vice Sect Master of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Jinhee, doubted his own sanity. He had taken him to the scripture pavilion in the morning, given him the accumulating lightning technique, and taught him the basics. He had thought he would figure out how to form the Lot Transformation Dantian on his own. Since Jinhee himself is a heavenly spiritual root, and he managed to easily create the Lot Transforming Dantian, he thought Seo Eun-yun, born with a lighting sacred body, would naturally do the same. Of course, he thought memorizing the true words for the 1st star of Chi refining might be a bit confusing and would take a few days. Jinhee had thought so because that was his own experience. No, fine, let's say due to his legendary qualities, he can quickly surpass the 1st star of Chi refining. Since the 2nd star is linked to the 1st, let's assume he can surpass that too. But, Jinhee swallows hard, unable to comprehend the unfathomable genius before him with his common sense. To learn the accumulating lightning technique in the morning and reach the 6th star of Chi refining by evening. How does that even make sense? And it seems the others around Jinhee feel the same, as everyone looks at Seo Eun-yun as if he is a monster. Including the vice sect leader Jinhee, the sect leader Jin Lin, the supreme sect master Jin Baek-ho, and all the elders gathered in front of Seo Eun-yun's residence. Surrounding Seo Eun-yun, so you're saying you gave him the accumulating lightning technique this morning? Yes. Jin He nods. Jin Baek-ho opens his mouth in disbelief. Are you really sure you just taught him now? Could it be that you secretly taught him when he joined the Flying Immortal platform? No, with all due respect, Supreme Sect Master, do you think that makes any sense? Instead, I'd like to ask you a question. I heard you first met this boy in the lower realm and tested his talent. Was he really just a mortal then? Not at the 6th star of Qi refining? No, to be precise, he was on the verge of entering the Qi gathering stage. Yes, I see now. Jin Baek-ho nods and speaks. He was originally just entering the Qi gathering stage. Perhaps he already knew about the 72 earthly Sha true words, the 36 heavenly gang's decrees, the 12 branches, the 10 heavenly stems, the 9 palaces, and the 8 trigrams. Doesn't that make sense? Didn't the Supreme Sect Master just verify it? This boy's accumulation of the 6th star of Qi refining isn't simply due to external techniques. It's purely through the accumulating lightning technique that he reached the 6th star. Quote, knowing the formulas of external techniques and reaching Qi refining 6th star so quickly with the accumulating lightning technique. Unless one madly abandons all their cultivation and repeats the process of understanding before breakthrough numerous times, it's impossible. So what are you trying to say? Jin Baek-ho asks, somewhat excitedly stirred by Jin He. Jin He exclaims with a bewildered expression. Match him with So-hei. If not for a talent like So-hei, we absolutely cannot accommodate this boy's insane talent. As the discussion turns to Jin So-hei, Jin Baek-ho's great-granddaughter, Jin Baek-ho frowns slightly. Jin He points excitedly at Seo Eun-yun. If not So-hei, then the dual cultivation partners for this boy should be chosen from the nascent soul stage elders to balance it out. In my 1050 years of life, I've never encountered such a nonsensical aptitude for understanding. Eun-yun, show them. At Jin He's excited command, Seo Eun-yun steps forward and calmly displays the hand signs of the 72 earthly Shas. The spiritual natures of the 36 heavenly gang decrees, the 12 branches spiritual energies, the 10 heavenly stems, changes are all perfectly demonstrated. Not only that, but he also mastered the principles of the 9 palaces and the 8 trigrams, leaving Jin Baek-ho and the other elders speechless with admiration. Perfect. He grasped the principles of the 72 earthly Sha true words with the accumulating lightning technique. It's like looking at children who have perfected their state after years of understanding before breakthrough, rather than breakthrough before understanding. That's how flawless it is. Amidst the elders' praises, Seo Eun-yun's eyes flicker, but no one notices. Certainly, his talent is beyond belief. It's exciting to think how much he will grow after the 7 stars ritual. No need for Qi building pills or anything with such an exceptional understanding. And on top of that, such a person has the sacred lightning body and possesses a consciousness of the nascent soul stage. Jin Baek-ho, who had been dumbfounded for a moment, bursts into laughter. Ha 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 ha, good indeed, it's time for the 120,000-year reputation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect to resound through the world again. Laughing heartily, Jin Baek-ho stamps his foot. Kung. Behind him, a chair made of earth rises as if sprouting from the ground, then melts into glass under the lightning emanating from Jin Baek-ho's body. Sitting on the glass throne, Jin Baek-ho laughs heartily, emitting streaks of lightning. Since So-hei has a wall force constitution, suggesting her as a dual cultivation partner for someone with a lightning sacred body makes sense. If they become partners, they could unleash tremendous power. However, I'm sorry, but I promised her parents that I would let her choose her own partner. Jin Baek-ho looks at Seo Eun-yun and continues with a joyous smile. If you want to match that kid with So-hei, then make the kid win So-hei over. Otherwise, it would be better to just assign a nascent soul stage female elder from our sect. And, if the lightning sacred body is like this, imagine how exceptional Jeon Myung-hoon, who can be considered the reincarnation of our ancestor with the heavenly golden thunder body, must be. Jin Baek-ho looks happily in one direction. That is where Jeon Myung-hoon is receiving education from Jin So-hei. Personally, as So-hei's ancestor, I wish for So-hei to be matched with someone who possesses the heavenly golden thunder body, the symbol of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect. But who knows how that will turn out. However, if that happens, So-hei might actually be the one lacking in comparison. Ha ha ha, Having two such talented geniuses enter our sect is indeed a great fortune that could bring back the glory of 120,000 years ago. Jin Baek-ho, genuinely happy, stands up from his temporary throne and walks over to Seo Eun-yun, patting him on the shoulder. All of the sect is placing their hopes on you, Seo Eun-yun. Do not disappoint us. Yes, I will bear that in mind. Yes, yes. If the lightning sacred body is like this, I can't help but be excited about how outstanding the true heir to the ancestry's heavenly golden thunder body will be. I hope Sohei finishes instilling manners in him as soon as possible. Ha ha ha. Feeling ecstatic, Jin Baek-ho can't stop laughing as he floats into the air. In our sect, there is a system called merit points, where members are awarded for undertaking the sect's missions, and these points can be used to borrow or obtain the sect's techniques, pills, magic artifacts, and dharma treasures. But, as the Supreme Sect Master, I decree, from this moment on, Seo Eun-yun and Jaeon Myung-hoon, the two geniuses of the sect, will be exempt from the merit points system. Provide them with whatever they want. Understood? Yes. After finishing his declaration, Jin Baek-ho flies away using the flying escape technique, his smile stretching ear to ear. The golden lightning and intent are indistinguishable. I chuckle to myself as I observe the golden lightning and the golden intent emanating from Jin Baek-ho. Then, turning my head towards the pavilion where Jaeon Myung-hoon is located, I ponder. Having attracted so much attention from the very beginning, Jaeon Myung-hoon will have no choice but to dedicate himself to cultivation, whether he likes it or not. Honestly, during my 15th reincarnation, I was quite surprised when I first met Jaeon Myung-hoon in his normal state. It was impossible for someone with such insane talent to still be at the core formation stage unless they had spent decades just fooling around. This time, I'll provide the stimulation myself. Not just that, if he doesn't understand, I'll use the methods of the Azure Heaven Creation sect to instill it in him. If that still doesn't work, I'll resort to brainwashing like Seo Whale to forcibly elevate his cultivation. The Heavenly Lightning Banner was afraid of Jaeon Myung-hoon's touch. I clearly remember that moment. When Jaeon Myung-hoon held the Heavenly Lightning Banner, it feared his Heavenly Golden Thunder body. Once he regains his cultivation, controlling the Heavenly Lightning Banner should also be possible. Doing so might even make sealing the banner within the head realm easier. Of course, there is a possibility that Jaeon Myung-hoon won't listen to me. In preparation for that, I too must increase my strength. I resolved to rapidly advance my cultivation so as not to fall behind Jaeon Myung-hoon and decided to follow my master, Jin Hee, to perform the 7 Stars ritual on Thunder Cloud Peak in a few days. Fortunately, the archives of the Thunder Cloud Pavilion had materials on the constellations of the Bright Cold Realm. Study and learn from these. Yes, I had already memorized all the constellations, but I pretend to listen to Jin Hee's instructions and quickly flip through the book. Honestly, your 7 Stars ritual will likely go smoothly. So now let's decide who you'll bring as your dual cultivation partner after the ritual. Quote. At those words, I inadvertently let out a sigh. To pair me with a nascent soul stage female elder. Most cultivators in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect already have dual cultivation partners, being mostly in matrimonial relationships, whether men or women. To assign a nascent soul stage dual cultivation partner to me meant one of two things. She is either a widow or someone who has cultivated techniques like the Taiji Quaking Lightning Body to the point where their gender is indistinguishable. Either option is unappealing. Moreover, since I had previously avoided being assigned a dual cultivation partner under the pretext of the 7 Stars ritual, it will not be easy to avoid this time. No choice then. After being paired, I'll immediately enter secluded cultivation to recover my Heavenly Tribe nascent soul stage cultivation. Then, as a nascent soul stage elder, I can say I no longer need a dual cultivation partner. Considering there are quite a few nascent soul stage female cultivators who have not sought another partner after becoming widows, it seems not mandatory to have a dual cultivation partner after becoming an elder. That will solve everything. I internally make plans and simply nod for now. Understood. Good. After your 7 Stars ritual, your dual cultivation partner will be Grand Elder Hong. Yes, Grand Elder. Not an elder but a Grand Elder. The term, Grand Elder, implies someone at the Heavenly Being stage. The late Heavenly Being stage Grand Elder Hong will be assigned as your dual cultivation partner. Do you understand? I see. What kind of person is this Grand Elder Hong? Is she among the elders who came to see me earlier? No, Grand Elder Hong is someone who usually doesn't leave her quarters no matter what happens. As for what kind of person she is, Jinhee seems to ponder about Grand Elder Hong and then awkwardly smiles. She's a good person. Just a bit unique. So much so that all her previous dual cultivation partners ran away, but her nature isn't bad. Quote, I can't help but ask incredulously at that moment. Why would the dual cultivation partners want to run away from Grand Elder Hong? Grand Elder Hong as well, actually. Quote, after letting out a sigh, Jinhee reveals the truth. Because Grand Elder Hong has been conducting human experiments on her dual cultivation partners, attempting to manifest the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's legendary constitutions. Quote, upon hearing this, I instantly realize that Grand Elder Hong is no less a madman than the Mad Lord. Aren't I a valuable asset to the sect? That's correct. However, Grand Elder Hong, with your lightning sacred body, wouldn't dare to treat you recklessly. Moreover, her goal has been to manifest legendary constitutions, and you are essentially the target she has been aiming for. What about the Heavenly Golden Thunder body? Grand Elder Hong has not dared to overstep towards the Heavenly Golden Thunder body. She has always targeted the lightning sacred body, so she will definitely not harm you. Are you sure? I ask skeptically, trying to read Jinhee's intent. Could it be, Master, that you've already agreed upon this with Grand Elder Hong? Caught by my pointed question, Jinhee breaks into a cold sweat and suddenly bows his head. I'm sorry, my disciple. That madwoman, Grand Elder Hong, threatened to cause a scene if she couldn't have you, so I thought I'd at least pass the message. Quote, if you truly dislike it, I'll switch to an ordinary widowed nascent soul stage elder. Grand Elder Hong might throw a tantrum, but would it compare to the time when the Mad Lord came to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and wreaked havoc? The Supreme Sect Master will take care of it probably. Quote, this, although I am somewhat dumbfounded by Grand Elder Hong, the more I think about it, the more appealing it seems. Not bad. Grinning, I think, she wants to experiment on me. Unless she intends to completely transform me like the Mad Lord, I can tolerate that level. Moreover, I consider the potential benefits of her infamous reputation. Using her attempts to experiment on me as an excuse, I can either run away within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect or even escape outside, and everyone would just nod understandingly. Jinhee's reaction gave a clear picture of what kind of a lunatic Grand Elder Hong is. She might not be as bad as the Mad Lord, but she is certainly crazy. Moreover, if it's not a nascent soul stage elder but a late heavenly being stage elder, I can get much more advice on the lightning path methods from her. Of course, dealing with insane people often means normal logic will not apply. However, as mad as she might be, could she really be as bad as the Mad Lord? Having adapted to the Mad Lord's logic, I feel confident I can get used to her too. And most importantly, if she really is a madwoman intent on experimenting on me, I might become less attached than I anticipated. Planning to evade human experimentation as an excuse to roam freely without truly forming a dual cultivation partnership, watching her chase me and throw fits would prevent any emotional attachment from forming. Even with regression, there won't be a shock to my psyche. That is the most appealing aspect. Of course, having decided to become part of the same sect family, I will likely develop some affection for my comrades in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. But she won't come close to being part of the family I will intensely bond with. That way, the shock upon regression will be somewhat lessened. With that in mind, I accept Jinhee's proposition. He, unsure of what to do, exudes a mix of gratitude and remorse. The day of the 7 stars ritual arrived. I climb onto the altar Jinhee has prepared and begin the ritual. Kugugugu. Inevitably, dark clouds gather again, severing the connection to the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Seeing this, Jinhee's eyes narrow. What's this? Isn't today the auspicious date for the ritual? It can't be. I checked everything. Master, what are those clouds? It seems today isn't the auspicious date after all. From what I know, such clouds can be dispelled by the ritual's participant themselves without any issue for the ritual. Is that correct? That's true, but you're only at the 6th star of chi refining. How can you possibly? Before Jinhee can finish, I draw upon the accumulating lightning technique and extend my hand towards the sky. Then, using the power of the heavenly lightning I had harnessed when I advanced to the chi building stage with demon beast methods, I unleash it with both hands. Pouring, the azure lightning from my hands ascend towards the sky, tearing through the clouds to clear a path for the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Witnessing this, Jinhee's eyes widen in disbelief. What in the world is this? So surprised is Jinhee that, during the rest of the 7 stars ritual, he couldn't even think to assist me. He just stood there, dumbfoundedly watching me. Crackle, fizz, swoosh. Receiving the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, I confirm that I have regained the vision of the heaven tribe. I have reached the 7th star of chi refining. The accomplishments of my accumulating lightning technique have expanded even further, and I feel as though a path that had been blocked is now clear. Master, I have completed the 7 stars ritual. How did you manage to produce such lightning with the accumulating lightning technique? Who knows, it just worked when I tried. Hey. Jinhee, initially wearing a look of disbelief, begins to genuinely laugh. Yes, it seems he has finally come to accept my talent. This is the power of the lightning sacred body. Truly a blessing for our sect. If the lightning sacred body is this impressive, just how extraordinary must the heavenly golden thunder body of our ancestor be? Ah, ancestor, you truly watch over our sect. Next to him, I smile meaningfully, calculating the remaining amount of azure lightning. With this much, it might be a stretch to reach chi building, but reaching the pinnacle of chi refining should be no problem. That is enough for me. I have yet to utilize all of the heaven tribe cultivation stored in the colorless glass sword, so I can simply proceed with those. The day after the 7 stars ritual. Are you the one called Seo Eun-yun? In front of my cave residence appears a person dressed in a golden robe, belted with a golden sash. Despite the static electricity crackling around her, the hair of the woman, who had let her deep black hair grow down to her waist, remains as smooth as ebony. The woman, with her clean complexion, looks quite sane at first glance. I am Grand Elder Hong of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect. From today onwards, I will be your dual cultivation partner. Please take good care of me. For now, I greet her with polite manners. I'll have to dodge around her from now on, but I should at least make a good impression on the first day. And then, it happens. Quote. Suddenly, she bursts out in anger and stomps her foot. From the outside, lightning flashes and the sky roars. Do you really think your status is the same as mine just because I've become your dual cultivation partner? How dare you lack the proper manners towards a grand elder of the sect? What is she talking about? It's the correct etiquette according to the royal traditions of Shengxi. In my time, whenever a grand elder of the sect made an appearance, everyone kneeled and bowed their heads without question. Even 860 years ago, such etiquette was alive. Why has it become so lax? Quote. She's angry because I didn't follow etiquette from 800 years ago. I am momentarily irritated but eventually adjust my actions based on the traditional etiquette I had learned from Shengxi, kneeling and bowing my head. Let's just accommodate her for now. Yes, I apologize for my rudeness. Please forgive me. That should be enough, right? However, I can see her intent writhing with anger again. What is it now? The etiquette is wrong. Do it again. Grand Elder, with all due respect, this is the correct form of etiquette from what I understand. It's a motion I had verified by digging through the ancient documents of Shengxi's royal family and observing several royal ceremonies. There is no way it could be wrong. Yet, Grand Elder Hong stubbornly glares at me, insisting on her point. What do you know? It wasn't done like that 800 years ago. Her insistence on her age and arguing that my posture is wrong because of it leaves me momentarily speechless. What is this younger one babbling about in front of me? Her continued fussing about age and growing anger makes me increasingly annoyed. And then, Grand Elder Hong's face turns red with rage as she screams wildly. You, this disrespectful brat. Fine, if you really have no intention of correcting your etiquette, then I will personally study your body and perhaps a bit of education will be beneficial. I look into the eyes of Grand Elder Hong Su Ryong, which are ablaze with anger. And in the next moment, thinking I would treat you specially just because you have the lightning sacred body, huh? Hey, I let out a hollow laugh, realizing why she had suddenly come to me and started raging. I apologize. I was preoccupied with unnecessary thoughts, inadvertently troubling you with my intent. It wasn't because she suddenly decided to pick a fight over age. It was because I had been exuding an intent that suggested I wanted to run away from her and merely use her, which prompted her sudden outburst. No, how could? After the Mad Lord, Azure Tiger Saint, and Oh Yun Sok, I have met the 4th cultivator to achieve 3 flowers gather at the summit. Chapter 227, Black Snake 5. Surururu. The moment I realized my opponent had achieved 3 flowers gather at the summit, I promptly reined in my intent. Simultaneously, interest sparked in Grand Elder Hong's eyes. The displeasure that had been present just moments ago washed away, no longer visible. You. Grand Elder Hong looks at me with a momentarily interested gaze, suddenly taking a step forward. Simultaneously, her arm rushes towards me. In my mind, I envision her hand piercing through my heart. However, in that vision, I split her body in half and kill her. Flinch. Grand Elder Hong is taken aback, but a smile appears on her lips. So it is. Were you originally not just any ordinary person but a martial artist? One could say that. Good. What was your primary weapon? A sword. A sword. Ha ha ha. She does not hide her exhilarated intent. Perfect conditions to become a sword cultivator. Woo. She opens her mouth and several orbs of light shoot out from her golden core, encircling her. A total of 16 golden swords. I, too, am a sword cultivator. Do you have any expertise in flying sword techniques? So that's it. I immediately understand what kind of entity she is. Just like the previous encounter with Byuk Moon Seong, she is a sword cultivator who specializes in controlling flying swords. I'll lend you a magic artifact so we can have a match. Instead of Jinhee, I'll take on the role of your master. However, I just smirk. My master, with a sword, in front of me, her. I glance towards a small table inside my quarters. I quickly swing my hand, cutting off one of the table's legs and holding it in my hand. If we're just sparring with sword techniques, this should suffice. Ha ha ha, you madman. Well, don't blame me when you get a thrashing. Crackle, fizz. Her flying sword Dharma treasures draw upon lightning energy, emitting a golden glow. Wham! Her flying swords surge towards me swiftly. Holding the leg of the table, I spin around, smoothly deflecting the flying swords and then shoot towards her. However, I sense presences from behind, in front, above and below. At the same time, images form in my mind. A sword, silently concealing its presence, spring from the right diagonal below to stab at my throat. Mid-stride, I twist my body, bending at the waist. Just as I do so, a flying sword that came from my blind spot whizzes past where my head had been. Taking advantage of the moment I twist my body, flying swords from all directions lunge at me. Whirling, but I plant one foot on the ground, using it as a pivot as I swing the sword, the table leg continuously without pause. Womb. Infusing chi into the table leg, I repel all of the flying sword Dharma treasures. Continuing the momentum of that rotational force, I rapidly surge towards Hong Su Ryong's blind spot. Then, I swing the sword in an upward slicing motion, and Hong Su Ryong, with a face full of exhilaration, grabs her golden sword and swings back at me. Zing, crack, shockwaves resonate in all directions, and the table leg creaks as if about to break. What are you, really? You're the best, not just any martial artist from 3 flowers gather at the summit. Are you the 5 energies converging to the origin that comes once every few hundred years? The excitement of fighting with you surpasses any cultivator I've killed. Kugugugu. Under her heavenly being stage pressure, my body slowly sinks into the ground. The ground of my cave residence can't withstand it. Although my body completely disperses her power, making me practically unscathed, it seems the surrounding terrain and objects can't say the same. If I used even a little of the power of my physical body from Demon Beast methods, Ultimate Pinnacle, or the Formless Sword, I would guarantee victory. I observe her, gauging her level. Though we were merely crossing swords, several images formed in my mind. Scenes where she pressed me time and again, only for her head to end up pierced by the leg of my table. Even though I was being pushed back in the current situation, the future we saw as our intents mingled always ended with her defeated, miserably impaled on the table leg, without exception. Ha! With a laugh that seems to tear her mouth, Hong Su Ryong begins to infuse her Dharma treasure with power, intending to split my body in half. And as I exchange intents with her, I realize something and am startled. Wait, she's not at 3 flowers gather at the summit. This is, after about 10,000 pictures, cycle through my mind, confirming her defeat. Out of those 10,000 times, just once, a single picture emerges where she and I end up destroying each other. If we compare our martial knowledge, it's an impossible scenario. My world, which has reached the treading heavens realm, cannot possibly be challenged by the level of 3 flowers gather at the summit. However, if it's a realm higher than the 3 flowers gather at the summit, it might be possible. 5 energies, converging to the origin, Quagwong. With the speed of lightning, she kicks me in the chest, sending me flying into one of the residence walls. I crash into the wall, and immediately, spider web-like cracks spread throughout it. To think you'd kick me away using your cultivation at the end. You must not have been confident about winning properly. So what? Cultivation is also my power. If you're jealous, reach the heavenly being stage yourself. Quote. Hong Su Ryong, with a satisfied smile, begins to recall her Dharma treasures. I originally planned to capture you and slice you up with my flying sword technique, but what was that? It didn't feel like a cultivation technique. Wo Wang, hovering in the air in the cave residence, Hong Su Ryong looks at the still unretrieved flying swords and asks. I retrieve my intent infused in her flying swords and return them to her as I speak. It's sword control. Ho, that's interesting, she says, receiving back the flying swords that had been completely under my control just moments ago. Up until just a moment ago, her flying swords were entirely dominated by me. If I had wanted to, I could have used her own flying swords to attack her. Such is the extent of my control. That's why, out of the 10,000 exchanges of intent, 10,000 times she was defeated. However, I recalled the one instance out of 10,000 where we ended up destroying each other. My sword control momentarily faltered. At that moment, her flying sword technique targeted me, and after splitting Hong Su Ryong in half and trying to respond to the flying sword technique, I missed one sword, resulting in a scenario where I also died. Of course, that assumes I didn't use the demon beast methods. But that's a meaningless assumption since she also hadn't properly used her cultivation techniques. By the way, you must at least be at the 5 energies converging to the origin or higher. Then, have you undergone complete transformation? Yes, that's correct. Then, it means you have both the lightning sacred body and the 5 elements spiritual root. She looks at me with interest. As expected, it was a good decision to coerce senior brother Jin into making you my dual cultivation partner. I've never met someone as interesting as you. Quote. I flinch at the sight of her eyes shimmering with madness. Quote. I heard you've been conducting human experiments. Are you planning to experiment on me too? It's intriguing, but it would be meaningless. Excuse me, do you know why I started human experiments? Quote. I don't know. Hong Su Ryong forms a seal towards one corner of the residence. A tree branch grows, forming a chair. She sits down on the chair and begins her story. The sword. Since I embarked on the path of cultivation, I've been fascinated by flying sword techniques. I've been consistently researching flying sword techniques and lightning path methods. Then, one day, I had the chance to observe the martial world, which is treated like insects in the cultivation world. Her eyes sparkle as she speaks. It was shocking to see them wielding swords so fiercely, so meticulously, struggling so desperately as the weak against the strong. It was something I'd never seen before. And then I realized, in the cultivation world, those who fling flying sword techniques around, boasting, look at me, I'm a sword cultivator, are all utter fools. Quote. Those fools who've never held a sword in their life think they can call themselves sword cultivators just by flinging flying swords. There's nothing more stupid than that. Her words are harsh, but since they resonate with my own thoughts, I quietly listen to her. From that day, I began to learn martial arts as well. Though my focus was mainly on sword techniques, holding a sword in my hands and wielding it was thrilling in itself. Fighting over and over again, I eventually reached an understanding of intent, saw the colors of intent through the 3 flowers gather at the summit, and ultimately reached the 5 energies converging to the origin. Quote. By any chance, have you also undergone complete transformation? I ask her, curious. She smirks and nods. Yes. But for me, I reached the 5 energies converging to the origin and underwent the complete transformation during the nascent soul grand perfection stage. Hence, I didn't have any trouble with lacking the 5 elements spiritual roots. I thought as much. Sensing her physique, I nod. Her body felt incredibly balanced. Such a physique wouldn't make sense unless she had undergone a transformation or mastered demon beast methods. Anyway, after reaching the 5 energies converging to the origin, a thought occurred to me. What was it? If human intent can change the physical body to undergo a transformation, adding the 5 elements spiritual roots to someone without spiritual roots through 5 energies converging to the origin. Then, depending on a person's will and effort, could a person's constitution also change? Crack, crackling, lightning swirls around her as she clenches her fist. Then, although the legendary constitution of the ancestors' heavenly golden thunder body might be too mythical, couldn't we reproduce something like a lightning sacred body depending on human effort? That's where my thoughts led me. So I started experimenting on the human bodies of those who were made to be my dual cultivation partners. Quote. Oh, don't worry, none of the subjects of my experiments ended up with disabilities or met bad ends. They all became stronger, if anything. Haha, so that's why those mad experiments weren't stopped by the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. The dual cultivation partners who escaped from her, regardless of the outcome, became stronger, thus increasing the sect's power. It seems that experimenting on fellow sect members, even dual cultivation partners, was forgiven for this reason. Anyway, putting that aside, you were born with the lightning sacred body and reached the peak of martial arts, achieving the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin, so there's no reason for me to modify or experiment on you. You are essentially the goal I've been trying so hard to reproduce. Is that so? I nod. The idea that human intent and effort can change one's constitution. It's a research started from a very interesting perspective. In that case, do you also think the same about talent? Talent, yes. The overall talent for cultivation methods or for martial arts. Do you also believe those can change? Ah, talent. I have indeed conducted research on that as well. She nods and continues. And after my own research, I've come to the conclusion that the concept of talent does not exist in this world. Talent doesn't exist. I find the notion intriguing, having never considered such a perspective. Why do you say that talent does not exist? As someone who has observed the extraordinary pattern law talent of Buk Hyung-hwa and the Mad Lord, and Kim Young-hoon's martial prowess, I find it hard to agree with her statement. And then, I am inevitably startled by the name she mentions next. Do you, by any chance, know of Cheonmin Ryong from Biokra? Excuse me, why would that name suddenly come up here? I nod in response. Yes, I've heard of him. I have a bit of a connection with the Cheonmin clan. Then, you must also know Cheonmin Ryong's nickname. Quote. Excuse me, I am confused at the mention of Cheonmin Ryong's nickname. What, did Cheonmin Ryong have a nickname? I cautiously say. I only know he's called one of the 3 great masters of the chi building stage. What's that now? Excuse me, but to my surprise, Hong-soo Ryong seems bewildered, as if she's hearing such a thing for the first time. However, she soon nods in acknowledgement. Ah, I see. I've heard that those below the core formation stage refer to him in that manner. A chi-building cultivator displaying the power of a core formation cultivator. However, from the late stages of core formation to the heavenly being stage, among higher-level cultivators, Cheonmin Ryong had a different nickname. Ah, it's a nickname circulated among higher-level cultivators. No wonder I didn't know about it. I met Cheonmin Ryong after all the nascent soul stages were already captured. Among such cultivators, Cheonmin Ryong was called the Yellow Snake, meaning the wise one without talent. Yellow snake, you say? Yes, since ancient times, snakes have symbolized wisdom. It's known that from the phrase, the heavens are black and the earth is yellow. Among high-level cultivators, he was called the Yellow Snake because it was said his talent fell to the earth. The Yellow Snake. I ponder her words. Then conversely, would a genius be called a black snake? I ask her about my question. Do you mean to ask about the black snake? She explains with her arms crossed. I don't know much about the black snake. After all, the idea that snakes symbolize wisdom comes from a legend secretly passed among the snake demons of the head realm. Ah, but from what I've heard, black snakes are considered more of an auspicious omen among snakes rather than signifying a genius. Black snakes signify an auspicious omen. Like the last time when buying the demon beast methods. Among snakes, black snakes seems to be considered a good omen or an auspicious being. The heavens are black and the earth is yellow. If snakes symbolize wisdom, then black snakes symbolize wisdom of the heavens. The heavens represent fate. Perhaps among the serpent race, those who reached the plane of fate and became true immortals might be the black snakes. Anyway, the reason I brought up Cheonmin Ryong was crackle. She brings out 16 golden flying sword dharma treasures again. 8 swords form points in all directions, and another 8 swords form points around the exterior. Inner trigram, outer trigram. Suddenly, the 8 trigram seal is imprinted on the swords, and the inner and outer swords begin to rotate in opposite directions. Wo Wang. The flying swords exchange the power of the 8 trigrams with each other, creating countless transformations. The total number of transformations is 66. As my eyes accurately follow the flow of changes, Hong-soo Ryong asks in surprise. Wow, you caught all the changes in one go. How many changes did you see? Don't think about hiding it. I've tested this on a few people. Just by looking at your eyes, I can tell how many transformations you saw. I was about to lessen the number but decided to tell her exactly what I saw. Even if I hide my intent, she would know I can do so. Such a lie won't work on her anyway. 66. The inner trigram and outer trigram combines to create 64 transformations, and adding the flow of yin and yang above and below makes 66. Indeed, no one except Cheongman Ryong has been able to discern all the transformations at once. Her gaze sharpens. Is it really true that you reached Chi refining 6th star in one go through an innate understanding? I sigh inwardly. This has nothing to do with talent or cultivation but more with how much effort one has put into the basic techniques under the approach of understanding before breakthrough. On the first day I met Hong-Soo Ryong. Are you really in your 20s? You're not an old monster who scattered his cultivation to infiltrate the sect, are you? She quickly approaches the secret of my talent. Chapter 228. Black Snake 6. This is why, looking at Hong-Soo Ryong who is eyeing me suspiciously, I think to myself. I really dislike quick-witted youngsters. But her sudden interrogation isn't meaningful. I readily extend one arm towards her. If you're doubtful, why not measure my physical age? Upon my suggestion, she quickly forms a seal and checks the pulse on my arm. Hong-Soo Ryong's spiritual power sweeps through my body like lightning. Then, her brows furrow slightly. Late 20s. Indeed, no matter how much she suspects something about me. This body is not brought from the future, so the information and history accumulated in this body itself only amounts to 2 or 3 decades. She narrows her eyes at me, scrutinizing. I meet her gaze squarely, showing no sign of intimidation. Well, fine, let's leave it at that for now. Since there is no evidence to prove I am a suspicious old monster, Hong-Soo Ryong reluctantly lets it go. I've always been interested in the approach of understanding before breakthrough and have studied it continuously. That's how I could read the flow at once. Please understand. Alright, I understand. Though she still seems skeptical, Hong-Soo Ryong eventually nods. Whether you're an old monster or not, doesn't really matter. What's important is, swoosh, the sword formation showing 66 transformations begins to change. That is, within the 64 transformations, the 72 earthly shas and 36 heavenly gang decrees naturally find their places. Based on this, the changes of the 12 earthly branches, 10 heavenly stems, and 9 palaces follow. And then the changes corresponding to the 7 stars, the 6 harmonies, 5 elements, and the 4 images. Transformations related to the 3 powers, yin and yang unity, the unified origin, and infinity begin to occur within her sword formation. TSST, TSST, TSST. Gradually, the transformations induced by her sword formation begin to accelerate. Basic techniques are not merely simple initial techniques. In the cultivation world, the language of cultivation is precisely these basic techniques. Even if one learns high-level cultivation methods, the complexity lies in the intertwining of basic techniques learned during qi refining, enriched with the creator's interpretation of these basic techniques, forming the high-level methods. Therefore, laying a solid foundation during qi refining not only makes the latter stages easier but also significantly enhances the power of high-level techniques. The reason Cheongman Ryong could draw upon the power of core formation with his thousand lustrous forest sea was precisely because he had mastered the language of basic techniques used in high-level methods, drawing out the true essence of the thousand lustrous forest sea perfectly. And now, before me appeared another individual, like Cheongman Ryong, who was drawing out the power of techniques based on their understanding of basic techniques. Wang, extinguishing lightning in her heavenly temple. From her dantian, lightning force erupts, connecting with the endlessly changing sword formation. That is, the changes in basic techniques occurring within the sword formation connect with the changes happening in her dantian, her innate method. At some point, the swirling sword formation before me perfectly reproduces Hong-Soo Ryong's method. Beautiful. Her swordsmanship skills are far inferior to mine, and her enlightenment regarding the sword is also inferior. Not to mention, her enlightenment in the principle of understanding before breakthrough cannot compare to mine, who was directly taught by Cheongman Ryong. However, she has perfectly unified the principle of understanding before breakthrough with her flying sword techniques. If my sword control and formless sword are based solely on the enlightenment reached through the extreme limits of understanding the sword, Her approach seems to perfectly harmonize the understanding of cultivation techniques and the enlightenment of the sword, dancing within her hands. Look, crackle, crackle, with the sword formation that elevates her cultivation and lightning power, she moves the formation. The sword formation, spinning and transforming before her, suddenly shoots towards a point in the cave residence like a fierce tiger under her command. Cut, I can clearly feel it. The power contained within the sword formation is only at the level of core formation. No, it is barely at the core formation stage, and in fact, it should be considered as an attack that utilizes the full strength of the chi building grand perfection stage. But the next moment, flash, with a burst of light and lightning force, I see a huge hole being blasted through the back of my cave residence. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. The ceiling of the cave residence is blown away, and far in the distance, I can see other mountains of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect being swept away by the sword energy of the sword formation, leaving behind massive sword scars. Hong Su Ryong's sword formation emits smoke in a halted state. Insane. I let out a dry laugh upon realizing that she had deliberately infused only chi building level energy to show me. It's not just about the destructive power. Her sword resonated with me in an instant. For those below the heavenly being stage, avoiding it is practically impossible. If a sword formation that spews out the power of the core formation from the chi building grand perfection level is used with the power of the heavenly being stage, maybe she's just slightly less skilled than Jin Baek Ho. I revise my evaluation of her as I watch her retrieve her sword formation, from a madman obsessed with human experiments to a considerably skilled individual. Just then, Hong Su Ryong, you maniac! Ah! Hearing someone cursing Hong Su Ryong from afar makes her flinch. From a distance, an enraged voice is echoey from the mountain she had split with her sword energy. You lunatic! What displeases you now that you cause trouble even in our new territory? If you want to cause chaos, go do it outside. My apologies, senior brothers. Hong Su Ryong coughs awkwardly and responds. Anyway, if you properly grasp the basics like this, it's possible to unleash power beyond stages. And mastering the basics is not just a matter of talent. It's a matter of effort and will. That's why I've always thought that talent doesn't exist. I see. Effort and will determine talent. But if that's the case, what makes the difference between a genius and a dullard? I immediately asked her about my thoughts. Then what is the difference between a genius and a dullard? Nodding her head, she replies. I believe that everyone is a genius in some aspect. Those we call geniuses have just found the field suitable for them. Everyone finds the field they are drawn to, and by developing it with will, they can become a master of that field. That, I believe, is what the world calls a genius. Talent is, in a way, fate. So, it's not that talent exists per se, but rather the fate one is drawn to exists. Yes, in a way, what the world calls talent might just be fate. In other words, for her, talent is another name for fate. Fate. If what you're drawn to is your talent and your fate, what is my talent, my fate? It wasn't so much that I was drawn to martial arts from the beginning as much as I was resentful of being bullied and having my soap-making technique stolen during my 0th cycle, which led me to learn martial arts. If being drawn to something is fate, I still haven't felt a definitive pull that I can call my fate. I don't know, I sigh, deciding to ponder slowly over my fate. Then, I realize something. By the way, Grand Elder Hong. What is it? About my cave residence. She looks at my cave residence, where the roof had flown off and the back wall had been completely blown out, and gives an awkward laugh. A cave residence refers to a cultivator's abode. Typically, cultivators would dig caves in mountains, cliffs, or secluded places to cultivate for long periods, and caves located in areas with dense spiritual veins were highly sought after. One of the benefits of joining a large sect is getting such a cave residence provided for free. But now, my residence. As I gaze helplessly at my destroyed cave, Hong Su Ryong floats into the air with an awkward smile. Since it's come to this, I'll find and bring you a better cave residence. Just wait a few days. Then, I shall take my leave. Poof. After finishing her sentence, she disappears using the flying escape technique, leaving me so stunned I nearly laugh. A month has passed. There had been many ups and downs, and many events had occurred in that time. And, I had more conversations with Hong Su Ryong than I anticipated. What do you think is the essence of lightning, Senior Hong? The essence of lightning, I think of it as an instant. I've had that thought too. Surprisingly, I found that there was a lot I could learn from her, and she was practically acting as my master in place of Jinhee at the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. However, if we delve deeper into the Tao of lightning itself, the essence of lightning ultimately stems from the interchange between yin and yang. However, since yin and yang can also be interpreted as heaven and earth, if we consider that lightning is a power born instantaneously under heaven and earth, it can also be said to be instant. An instant between heaven and earth, it's similar to life itself. That's why, while practicing sword techniques, I often thought that a person's life is like lightning, struggling within heaven and earth and life and death, eventually fading away. From a higher perspective, a human's life might feel like a speck of dust or a fleeting moment. Quote. I see. Lightning flows through all things in the heavens and earth and also through the human body. Thoughts occur through the exchange of electrical signals in the brain, and electricity is used when moving the body. That's right. It's no different for the demon race. They circulate yin and yang, and the weak lightning power born between them stimulates the brain, developing intelligence. In short, human actions, emotions, and reason are influenced by lightning. Quote. Therefore, lightning is not only a natural law but also the law of existence. The law of existence. Maybe that's why from the third stage of manifestation, it takes on the characteristics of heavenly tribulation. Existence. Crackle, crackle, I spark lightning with the tip of my finger. Over the past month, I fully recovered the Heaven Tribe nascent soul stage cultivation. Although I haven't yet regained the mid-nascent soul stage that I vaguely remember reaching in the 16th cycle, I feel that I will soon reach it as I am learning the lightning path method infused with the power of Yang, so I'm not worried. Now, I am in the process of learning the 7 lightning quaking scripture and the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple. Crackle, green lightning dances at my fingertips. It's the 4th stage of the 7 lightning quaking scripture. Inside my dantian, I can feel the power of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple writhing. Wo Wang. I had successfully mastered up to the 6th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, which consists of 12 stars in total. Isn't it said that it typically takes 40 years to reach the 6th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple at a normal cultivation speed? That was what I heard from Hong Su Ryong regarding the normal cultivation speed. It's indeed the sacred lightning body. Of course, Hong Su Ryong also knows that my quick progress of the lightning path methods is due to my lightning sacred body. She looks at me with curious eyes, measuring my cultivation. No matter how I look at it, it seems more like you're recovering lost cultivation realms rather than that of normal cultivation. It's an unbelievable speed. Is this the power of a legendary physique? Quote. Well, isn't it? Hoo, now I'm even more eager to replicate the lightning sacred body. From my perspective, Senior Hong, wouldn't it be better to solidify the foundations of the techniques you've learned before trying to replicate the sacred lightning body? Quiet, what do you know to be giving me advice? Over the month, Hong Su Ryong and I had become close enough to engage in such casual conversations. Surprisingly, we get along well. She feels like a mix of Cheongmin Ryong and Kim Young-hoon. In terms of spells and lightning path methods, she is like Cheongmin Ryong. When she duels with me using her sword techniques, she shows a side similar to Kim Young-hoon. That's probably why I became comfortable with her so easily. Quote. Well, let's stop here for today. Listening to you, I've been inspired. I need to kidnap some newbies and run some experiments. Quote. Please ensure the experiments are moderate so as not to spread any strange rumors. I advise her with an uneasy look. However, she seems to have gotten some inspiration from our conversation and already entered her own world, muttering something to herself. It's good that she doesn't see me as an experimental subject. Through our conversations and her research on the sacred lightning body, her goal to replicate it with her own hands seems to become even firmer. Recently, there have been many rumors about her kidnapping new disciples from the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, especially those from the Bright Cold Realm, for experiments in her research cave residence. Of course, even though the new disciples might suffer, they either gain unique abilities or their cultivation improves without harm. Therefore, the elders don't really make a big issue out of it while they may talk. I leave her cave residence and return to mine. Feeling guilty about destroying my residence, Hong Su Ryong had taken another spiritual mountain from Thunder Spirit Island and made it into my new cave residence. Thanks to her, my abode is now much larger and the spiritual veins are more concentrated. Let's start today's training. I begin my cultivation in the lotus position inside my abode. Hong Su Ryong was amazed that I had reached the 6th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple in just over a month, thinking it was the power of the lightning sacred body. However, crackle, crackle, thousand lustrous forest sea, a beautiful jade-like energy spreads around my body, crackling with lightning. The extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple specializes in creating a thunder palace inside the Dantian to enhance resistance to lightning and seek assistance from rituals. It is particularly adept at establishing dominion over the surrounding terrain. The thunder palace mentioned here is more of a metaphor for the 64 hexagrams than an actual palace. The inner and outer trigrams combine to form 64 hexagrams within the Dantian. Lightning power courses through the paths of these 64 hexagrams, gradually thickening. Crackle, crackle, and at the center of these hexagrams grows a tree. It is an immensely large tree. In the trigrams, wood represents lightning. The thousand lustrous forest sea, which dominates the surroundings by laying down its wood property, matches very well with the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple that dominates the surroundings with its lightning property. Therefore, practicing the thousand lustrous forest sea and the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple simultaneously greatly increases my cultivation speed. Moreover, by embodying the flow of yin and yang through demon beast methods and amplifying the power of lightning within my body with the power of the lightning sacred body, my cultivation speed increases several-fold more. The result of this amplified and further amplified cultivation speed is reaching the 6th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple within a month. Crackle, crackle, around me, trees made of lightning begin to form a forest. Inside the sea of lightning trees, I cultivate the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple at an incredible speed. Thanks to the cultivation speed of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, the 7 lightning quaking scripture is also growing rapidly. Kurring, kurring, kururung. Orange, yellow, and green lightning spews from my body, emitting 3 banners. I wondered why there wasn't a red banner, but Hong Su Ryong told me that red lightning is used for summoning the heavenly lightning banner. Hence, there's no separate red banner. Crackle, crackle, I enter a state of deep concentration surrounded by lightning. Reaching the 6th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple is an achievement of the late core formation stage, but I only reported this accomplishment while keeping my entry into the nascent soul stage a secret. And the response was explosive. Unbelievable. So this is the power of the lightning sacred body. Indeed, the incarnation of lightning. Ancestor. The memories of Jin Baek Ho and the elders screaming in joy are still vivid. 7 days later, a ceremony to appoint me as an elder of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was prepared. Even though I had only shown the achievement of the late core formation stage to Jin Baek Ho and the elders, they seemed ready to appoint me as an elder immediately. An elder in just a month. It was fine to show them my rapid progress up to the grand perfection core formation stage. After all, for those from the bright cold realm, reaching core formation is only a matter of time. From the nascent soul stage onwards, enlightenment regarding planes is necessary, so it's okay if it takes a bit longer. Just the right level. I meld the power of the thousand lustrous forest sea with the power of lightning, breaking through to the 7th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple. Crackle. The lightning writhes inside me, rotating with the vigor of a dragon. For the remaining time, I'll just pretend to slowly enter the nascent soul stage and quickly break through to the mid-stage. I am confident I can swiftly pass through the late nascent soul and core formation stages, so I just need to manage the mid-stage of the nascent soul, which I lost my memory of in the 16th cycle. Crackle. After a while, I store the lightning and approach 2 beings practicing in a corner of my cave residence. They are Yuan Yu and Hong Fan. Crackle, crackle. Although I had received the Taiji quaking lighting body, practicing a body swapping technique like that sober is honestly quite awkward, so I eventually decided to pass it on to Yuan Yu. For Yuan Yu, who possesses a body that harmonizes yin and yang, the Taiji quaking lighting body is the best choice. Yuan Yu's achievements with it are improving day by day. Hong Fan is cultivating after awakening his name with the sacrificial name Spirit Steel Great Method. Wo Wang. When I handed over a serpent race method I purchased to Hong Fan, he quickly learned the method. His achievements have already reached the mid-chi refining stage. That is, he has reached the critical point of the 7th star of chi refining. Pop. Suddenly, Hong Fan's abdomen, which had been quietly absorbing spiritual energy for cultivation, explodes. I hurriedly infuse life force into Hong Fan. Hong Fan's abdomen heals once again. At some point, he writhes wildly and then suddenly sheds his shell. It's the shedding according to the intricacies of the serpent race method. After repeating the process of his body exploding and me infusing life force several times over a month, Hong Fan also reached the 7th star of Qi refining in a month. Wriggle, wriggle, now as big as my forearm, Hong Fan rubs his head against my arm to show affection. It seems he doesn't possess enough intelligence to articulate proper language yet, but he appears to realize that I am helping him grow well in this life too. After patting Hong Fan's head once, I return to my spot and unfold the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple again. Kuru room. The lightning terrain is laid around me. A method specialized in conducting rituals through the terrain. That is the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple. Then, yi and ah, crackle, crackle, I activate the connection to Kim Yi and that is linked through the mysterious Bazaar Gu. Then, through the power of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, I transform my will into a signal and feed it into the connection with the mysterious Bazaar Gu. Since Kim Yi and I are unexpectedly far apart, direct communication through the mysterious Bazaar Gu is impossible. Therefore, it is only possible to convey my will to her by borrowing the power of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple. Of course, I haven't received a reply yet. Unless she actively begins to learn the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon and further activates the connection with the mysterious Bazaar Gu through her consciousness, it will remain so. For now, the best I can do is send her signals that can help with the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. I hope it helps. Crackle. After deactivating the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, I step outside my abode. Hello, Senior CO. Outside the cave residence, disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect greet me with looks of respect, and passing elders acknowledge me as well. Haha, Taoist CO. Tomorrow is the day, isn't it? Then, an elder familiarly calls me Taoist CO and settles next to me. Yes, it seems so. I laugh and look at one of the pavilions of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. The Discipline Pavilion. Inside, Jeon Myung-hoon has been learning about the common knowledge, etiquette, language, basics, and so on of this world. I heard his education will end tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, the attention towards Taoist CO will fade a bit. Don't feel too sad about it. Ha ha ha, isn't he the heavenly golden thunder body, after all? Yes, I understand. From tomorrow, Jeon Myung-hoon will finally begin to learn the basic methods of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Chapter 229, Black Snake 7. That's all for today. With that, the history lessons of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect are concluded. You've learned about the culture, language, and etiquette of Shaanxi, as well as the basic language, constellations, general culture, and common knowledge of the bright cold realm. From today, you'll formally start learning the lightning path methods. Understood? Yes, I understand. Jeon Myung-hoon nods his head. It seems about a month has passed since he landed in this strange world and was captured by Jin Baek-ho in a place called Ascension Path. During that time, Jeon Myung-hoon learned many facts under the guidance of Jin So-hei. This world really is a Shanja world where Qi and cultivation sects live and breathe. In fact, falling into a world of cultivators isn't necessarily a good thing. To Jeon Myung-hoon, who knows the workings of a Shanja world better than anyone, it is almost like being trapped in a dangerous maze. I despaired when I realized it wasn't the world of lightning Taoist, but it's okay. Jeon Myung-hoon looks at his body. Unbeknownst to himself, he is said to possess the mythical quality known as the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. Over the past month, while learning the history of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect from Jin So-hei in the Discipline Pavilion, he clearly understood the power of the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. A physique that doesn't need to worry about heavenly tribulation until reaching the very end of cultivation. Moreover, heavenly lightning energy aids in the training of lightning path methods, allowing for cultivation at a speed several times faster than that of ordinary cultivators with heavenly spiritual roots. The legendary constitution of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Even if you combine all the legendary and prestigious physiques like the Lightning Sacred Body, Black Lightning True Body, 7 Colors Golden Lightning Golden Body, or even slightly lesser ones like the Wall Force Constitution, Primordial Origin Physique, and Red Spirit Water Body, none can ever reach the owner of the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. Even the Lightning Sacred Body, which is referred to as lightning itself, can't match the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. At the pinnacle of the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body, it was said Yongsu Jin could artificially produce lightning sacred bodies, clearly showing the prestige of the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. My life in this world will be in easy mode from now on to the absolute top of success. Jeon Myung-hoon smiles contentedly as he looks at Jin So-hei. To climb to the top of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, indulging in power. That too will be the best. Jeon Myung-hoon has long since abandoned any thoughts of returning home. What awaits me back home is just the power struggle of SJD Company. Saying goodbye to the foolish act of cleaning up after my uncle in such a frustrating medium-sized company. He recalls the legends of Yong-Soo Jin, the founder of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Legends tell of Yong-Soo Jin roaming the 3,000 worlds, ascending to the pinnacle of true immortality, and aside from a few terrifying beings, no one could stop his tyranny. Of course, Jin So-hee described it as a domineering journey, but honestly, Jeon Myung-hoon found Yong-Soo Jin's actions to be as audacious as China on earth. It's just glorified because he's an ancestor. Anyone on the receiving end would have wanted to kill him. What comforted him is that, fortunately, Yong-Soo Jin eradicated anyone who dared to cross him once, either by exterminating them root and branch or by imposing restrictions to ensure they could never influence the realm again. Hence, there is no worry of revenge. Anyway, having power in this world means you can act like Yong-Soo Jin. And Jeon Myung-hoon was born with the same qualities as Yong-Soo Jin. From now on, the history of this world will revolve around me, Jeon Myung-hoon. He smiles as he leaves the discipline pavilion with Jin So-hee. Kuring, Kururung. Jeon Myung-hoon heads with Jin So-hee to Thunder Cloud Peak, known as the peak with the densest spiritual veins in the sect. At the summit of Thunder Cloud Peak, in front of the Thunder Tribute Hall where the sect's sacred artifacts are sealed, Supreme Sect Master Jin Baek-ho, other leaders, and the elders are exuding a powerful aura. Cultivators above the chi refining stage mostly have no need to walk on their feet, so when climbing high places like Thunder Cloud Peak, stairs are unnecessary. Therefore, following the etiquette learned in the Discipline Pavilion, Jeon Myung-hoon rides on Jin So-hee's flying magic artifact and takes a solemn standing posture. Jin So-hee's flying magic artifact slowly ascends to Thunder Cloud Peak. Below Thunder Cloud Peak are the chi refining and chi building disciples. Midway are the core formation disciples. And at the edge, nascent soul stage elders are sitting or floating in the air. Jeon Myung-hoon, while maintaining his standing posture, discreetly observes the faces of the nascent soul stage elders and the heavenly being stage elders. I need to quickly familiarize myself with the faces of the sect's power structure. Opportunities come only to those who are prepared. Jeon Myung-hoon starts to quickly imprint the faces and characteristics of the sect's highest echelons in his mind, using his experience from the company. Seo Eun-yun thought Jeon Myung-hoon wasn't doing any work, but the reality was different. Jeon Myung-hoon wasn't slacking off at the company. Rather, he was continuously working behind the scenes to make himself look good to the highest powers. There's no need to worry about those core formation disciples. Starting from the nascent soul stage elders to the heavenly being stage elders, and even becoming close with Supreme Sect Master Jin Baek-ho of the 4-axis stage is what's most important. Jeon Myung-hoon's cunning mind works rapidly. Going forward, I need to quickly identify the specialties and precious resources of the bright cold realm, securing them for myself and using them as gifts to get close to the sect's higher-ups. His eyes sneakily shift towards Jin So-hee. And since Jin So-hee is also a descendant cherished by Jin Baek-ho, it will be best to get even closer to her. He smiles inwardly while looking at Jin So-hee. Honestly, in terms of looks, she's not inferior to anyone. Considering the nature of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, which involves dual cultivation, there's a high chance I'll become her partner. I'll completely subjugate her in bed. Jeon Myung-hoon was born a winner. Although SJD Company wasn't a conglomerate, it was still a bath product company that was somewhat renowned in the industry. Especially in soap production, it was an innovative company without equal. Jeon Myung-hoon was born into the Pyongyang Jeon family that held a significant stake in SJD Company. He never lacked anything because of money and had never bowed his head to his peers unless they were from a truly powerful family. Of course, after officially joining the company, he did receive some cold shoulders from his colleagues. But as long as his uncle Jeon Myung-chul was there, nobody dared to openly criticize him. And Jeon Myung-hoon believed his life would continue to be successful. Now that he had acquired the heavenly golden thunder body, it's a future he can truly be certain of. Ah, that reminds me. Didn't they say Seo would ever, that guy also come here? Jeon Myung-hoon thinks for a moment and finally remembers the name, Seo Eun-yun. Right, it was Seo Eun-yun. Jeon Myung-hoon recalls Seo Eun-yun and smirks. They had joined the company at the same time and were the same age. Perhaps because of that, Seo Eun-yun initially tried to become close to Jaeon Myung-hoon by talking to him a lot. He was a guy who didn't know his place. Of course, Jaeon Myung-hoon had no interest in someone who was just ordinarily poor, ordinarily humble, and worked hard ordinarily. He was just an average person not worth dealing with. So, Jaeon Myung-hoon ignored Seo Eun-yun's attempts to get close. He didn't know his place. What an annoying guy. Jaeon Myung-hoon feels a sudden irritation as he thinks of Seo Eun-yun. When Seo Eun-yun and Jaeon Myung-hoon were at the same rank at the beginning of their employment. Initially, a bit more attention was given to Jaeon Myung-hoon, Jaeon Myung-chul's nephew. However, it didn't take long for the workplace superiors' attention to shift to Seo Eun-yun, who, although slightly less competent, worked incredibly hard, and to Kang Min-hee, who seemed enthusiastic but handled work swiftly and flexibly. Kang Min-hee was acceptable. She's a woman after all. She had been on Jaeon Myung-hoon's list of people to win over eventually. However, Jaeon Myung-hoon was annoyed that Seo Eun-yun, another man, kept drawing attention away. So, after quickly climbing the ranks with Jaeon Myung-chul's help, he openly bullied Seo Eun-yun, telling him to quickly disappear from the company. Yet, Seo Eun-yun didn't leave the company and stubbornly held on. Especially when Kim Yeon, a cute new employee, joined, Jaeon Myung-hoon bullied Seo Eun-yun more openly. But for some reason, Kim Yeon started showing overt affection for Seo Eun-yun at some point. Jaeon Myung-hoon grew annoyed by Seo Eun-yun. I was planning to properly crush him after getting drunk at the workshop with Chifo and plotting together. He smirked triumphantly. Well, it turned out for the best. It'll be fun to crush him to the point of no return in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. After all, it's a world where human rights barely exist. He can crush him more thoroughly than at the company. Jaeon Myung-hoon decides to look for Seo Eun-yun from the bottom of Thundercloud Peak. Let's see, didn't they say he was born with the lightning something body? Jin So-hae mentioned that Seo Eun-yun also learned cultivation methods and made significant progress. So, he must be among the chi refining disciples, right? However, Seo Eun-yun is not found below. Chi building level for him. He was diligent in whatever he learned, but that's about it. He surely couldn't have reached chi building, and he didn't like me either. Jaeon Myung-hoon turns his gaze away from below and snickers. Probably he couldn't stand seeing me attracting so much attention from the sect and hid somewhere. Kiki. Jaeon Myung-hoon feels pleased. If Seo Eun-yun understood his place and shrunk away without appearing before him, there would be no need to go out of the way to crush him. Thinking this, he turns his gaze upwards. Slowly, the flying magic artifact operated by Jin So-hae approaches the summit of Thundercloud Peak, Thunder Tribute Hall. Let's not worry about the guy cowering below. My path lies in the vast sky above. Single quote. Jaeon Myung-hoon turns his eyes towards the summit, blinking in confusion at something he can't understand. Confused and momentarily forgetting his manners, he blurts out a dumbfounded sound. Jin So-hae gives him a side eye, signaling him to mind his behavior. Jaeon Myung-hoon quickly shuts his mouth, but his mind is filled with questions. What? Why? Wo Wang. Before long, the flying magic artifact carrying Jin So-hae and Jaeon Myung-hoon arrives at the summit of Thundercloud Peak. And Jaeon Myung-hoon's eyes meets with his. A dark blue belt. Seo Eun-yun, wearing a badge proving his qualification as someone fully capable of becoming a future elder, indicating he has completed the core formation stage, is giving Jaeon Myung-hoon a meaningful smile from among the nascent soul stage elders. Single quote. Single quote. He fails to comprehend. Why is that guy there? While he is confused, the flying magic artifact reaches the summit of Thundercloud Peak, in front of Thunder Tribute Hall. The heavenly being stage elders and Jin Baek-ho, floating above Thunder Tribute Hall, descend one by one in front of Jaeon Myung-hoon and solemnly announce. Today, our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect has once again fully reclaimed the Ancestors' divine artifact, the Heavenly Lightning Banner, and the source of the Ancestors' power, the Heavenly Golden Thunder Body. The day when we regain the renowned name of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, which once held prestige across all 3,000 worlds, is not far off. Jin Baek-ho's speech goes on for a while, followed by a ceremony where he holds the Heavenly Lightning Banner and prays for blessings from the ancestor, Young-soo Jin. With this ceremony concluded, Jaeon Myung-hoon is hereby recognized as an official disciple of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Finally, Jaeon Myung-hoon is officially made a disciple of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Jaeon Myung-hoon, following the etiquette, bows to Jin Baek-ho. I will heed the words of the Supreme Sect Master as if they are commands of the heavens. After several more rituals are performed, Jaeon Myung-hoon is finally able to receive what he has long awaited. Now, Jaeon Myung-hoon. Here is the basic method you will learn, the accumulating lightning technique. Your heavenly golden thunder body has the ability to gather heavenly lightning energy, so mastering the accumulating lightning technique will be good. This is the beginning. Jaeon Myung-hoon smiled brightly. Jin So-hae said it takes normal heavenly spiritual root cultivators 2 to 3 years to master the accumulating lightning technique and reach the peak of chi refining. For me, it shouldn't take more than a year, maybe even just 6 months to master it. It's when Jaeon Myung-hoon is full of confidence. Mastering the accumulating lightning technique. Well, it should take only an hour or two, haha. Quote. Question mark. Quote. Jaeon Myung-hoon discovers a slight dissonance between Jin Baek-ho's and his own sense of time. The accumulating lightning technique is too basic for someone with the heavenly golden thunder body like you. Honestly, it's almost embarrassing to ask you to learn it. However, it's the foundation of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, so you must master it. Please understand. Yes, of course, it's right to start with the basics. Jaeon Myung-hoon is a bit embarrassed to receive Jin Baek-ho's expectation that he would succeed in mastering the accumulating lightning technique in just an hour or two. What, is the heavenly golden thunder body I possess really that incredible? Haha, seeing how well you understand the importance of fundamentals makes me feel reassured already. I heard that Seo Eun-yun, who is inferior to you in talent and was born with the lightning sacred body, is your comrade. Quote. Yes, that's correct. Ha, Seo Eun-yun, that guy. He's my comrade, he doesn't know his place. That Seo Eun-yun received the accumulating lightning technique in the morning and reached the 6th star of chi refining by evening. Reaching the 7th star took a bit of time due to procedural issues, but today is just the right day for you. Yes. In other words, as soon as you reach the 6th star of chi refining, we can immediately hold the 7 stars ritual for you today. Jin Baek-ho laughs heartily, patting Jaeon Myung-hoon's shoulder as if he is already proud. I believe in you, my disciple. Quote. Ah, yes. Jaeon Myung-hoon has no choice but to nod dumbfoundedly. After the welcome ceremony for Jaeon Myung-hoon, the new disciple with the heavenly golden thunder body, Jaeon Myung-hoon heads to his assigned cave residence and to begin reading the text of the accumulating lightning technique. And Jaeon Myung-hoon's face stiffens. Damn, what kind of gibberish is this? Shockingly, Jaeon Myung-hoon couldn't understand a single character of the accumulating lightning technique's intricacies. The next day arrives. The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is turned upside down. What do you mean you didn't hold Jaeon Myung-hoon's 7 stars ritual yesterday? I specifically chose the right timing to grant him the accumulating lightning technique yesterday. Jin Baek-ho's roar thunders through the Golden Thunder Hall where the sect's affairs are managed. One of the heavenly being stage elders, appointed as Jaeon Myung-hoon's master, Jin Chan, steps forward and says, I apologize, Supreme Sect Master. However, it seems Jaeon Myung-hoon is fundamentally ignorant about the cultivation world. He lacks the fundamental understanding of spiritual energy, spiritual power, and the intricacies of cultivation methods. Jin Baek-ho clicks his tongue. Indeed, I was too excited about the heavenly golden thunder body and forgot that the boy was just a mortal until recently. Jin Baek-ho nods and asks. So, how long will it take for him to grasp the basics of cultivation methods and understanding of spiritual energy, so he can reach the 6th star of chi refining? Jin Chan seems to ponder for a moment before responding. I believe 7 days and nights should suffice. It will take about 5 days to teach him the breathing techniques for spiritual energy, the locations of the meridians, and so on, so 7 days should be plenty. 7 days and nights. Well, I understand. I expected too much from a child who was just a mortal until recently. Jin Baek-ho speaks with a tone of understanding, but clear disappointment is evident in his eyes. Then, let's hear about Jaeon Myung-hoon's achievements again after 7 days and nights. Hopefully, he won't be unable to hold the 7 stars ritual by then. I will ensure we can hold the 7 stars ritual within 7 days and nights. Do not worry, Jin Chan confidently states. And 3 months pass. Jaeon Myung-hoon finally reached the chi gathering stage. Finally, Wo Wang, Jaeon Myung-hoon tears up with joy at the lot transformation dantian formed in his lower abdomen, and Jin Jin Chan, appointed as Jaeon Myung-hoon's master, does his best to control his facial muscles to not show his mixed feelings. Quote. Yes. Well done, Myung-hoon. Jin Jin Chan mutters under his breath, sighing softly. Quote. Let us go report your achievement to the Supreme Sect Master. Haha, yes, understood. Jaeon Myung-hoon, fascinated by the sensation of spiritual energy swirling around his fingertips, expels spiritual power with his fingertips and follow Jin Jin Chan. Good, after 3 months of hard work, I've got a feel for cultivation methods. I'll quickly progress through chi refining too. And, as Jaeon Myung-hoon happily follows Jin Jin Chan to the Golden Thunder Hall where Jin Baek-ho resides. Ha, well done, Seo Eun-yun. No, Elder Seo. Inside the Golden Thunder Hall, Jin Baek-ho's laughter thunderously echoes the space. Jin Jin Chan enters the Golden Thunder Hall with Jaeon Myung-hoon, wearing a complicated expression. Inside the Golden Thunder Hall, there stands Jin Hee, with an expression so proud it is almost unbearable, next to Seo Eun-yun. Ah, have you arrived, Jin Chan? Look here, my disciple has reached the 9th star of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple and ascended to the nascent soul stage in just 3 months. The following question twists the expression of Jin Jin Chan, appointed as Jaeon Myung-hoon's master, drastically. After hiding the heavenly golden thunder body in seclusion for 3 months, you finally show your face today. So, has the heavenly golden thunder body also reached core formation? Or, perhaps like Seo Eun-yun, already achieved nascent soul stage? Not only Jin Hee but also Jin Baek-ho, who had been bursting with laughter, now looks at Jin Jin Chan and Jaeon Myung-hoon with eyes full of expectation. Jin Jin Chan grits his teeth slightly and pushes Jaeon Myung-hoon forward. My disciple, Jaeon Myung-hoon's achievement is. And the words that follow turns the Golden Thunder Hall upside down. What? Chapter 230, Black Flash 8. Wo Wung, Wo Wung. The sound of thunder resonates through the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect. As Jin Baek-ho's temper flares, the celestial phenomena changes, and lightning flashes through the dark clouds. Do you really think that reaching the chi gathering stage in 3 months makes any sense? Jin Jin Chan bites his lip, unable to meet the enraged gaze of Jin Baek-ho. Typically, for those with mixed spiritual roots, creating a lot transformation dantian takes about 1 to 5 years at the fastest and slowest, respectively. For those with true spiritual roots, it takes about 1 to 3 months, while those with a single heavenly spiritual root can create a lot transformation dantian in a day or 2 under normal circumstances. This, normal, standard is based on the criteria of the lower realms, specifically the head realm. In the bright cold realm, everyone is born with a lot transformation dantian as if it's a given from birth. Even newborns born with mixed spiritual roots naturally absorb heaven and earth spiritual energy within 1 or 2 months after birth to generate a lot transformation dantian. In other words, Jaeon Myung-hoon's pace was even slower than that of newborns in the bright cold realm with inferior qualities. Just how did you teach the heavenly golden thunder body to waste such an absurd amount of time with this foolish pace? Naturally, instead of reprimanding Jaeon Myung-hoon, Jin Baek-ho vents his anger on his master, Jin Jin Chan. Seeing someone born with a physique like Yongsu Jin, the founder of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, lagging behind even those with 5-element spiritual roots and struggling to even enter the chi refining stage makes the expressions of Jin Baek-ho and the other elders darken. Quote. It's my incompetence that I could not teach my disciple properly. Even if I had 10 mouths, I could not excuse myself. Of course, Jin Jin Chan, Jaeon Myung-hoon's master, wants to have even more mouths to express his grievances. Damn, what's the use of having the heavenly golden thunder body? It's said that those with a heavenly spiritual root can create a lot transformation dantian within a day or 2. But that standard assumes the cultivator is giving their all, and focusing intently on their training. For cultivators to practice cultivation methods, not only must they be familiar with the terminology used in those methods, but they also need a basic understanding of spiritual energy and consciousness, as well as the meridians to allow spiritual energy to circulate throughout the body. Of course, higher realm cultivators possess techniques to forcibly inject knowledge into another's upper dantian, making knowledge not that significant an issue. After injecting knowledge and a few practice sessions to embody it, that type of basic knowledge is considered imparted. Originally, Jin Jin Chan's claim that he could raise Jeon Myung-hoon to the 6th star of Chi gathering within 7 weeks was based on such common sense. However, the elders of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect misjudged one crucial aspect regarding Jeon Myung-hoon. It's about willpower. Cultivation is no joke. Even for someone with a heavenly spiritual root, the process of absorbing spiritual energy and creating a law transformation dantian through the circulation of yin and yang takes a day or two of immense concentration. It demands mental fortitude to maintain focus without deviation and repeatedly perform the same actions endlessly for 2 days. Children of cultivation clans and disciples of mountain hermits or cultivation sects undergo years of mental training to form a law transformation dantian within the expected timeframe without issue. However, Jeon Myung-hoon practically lacks such willpower. Having lived a life where sitting still was a challenge and effort-requiring tasks were casually handled thanks to his connections and wealth, Jeon Myung-hoon found cultivation to be a category of work that couldn't succeed without his own effort. In the end, Jeon Myung-hoon spent the entire 3 months, equivalent to 24 hours a day or 12 hours by this world's standards, sitting motionlessly, becoming accustomed to the detailed process of creating a dantian. Jeon Myung-hoon's master, Grand Elder Jin Jin Chan, wanted to complain to Jin Baek-ho about this fact but clenched his teeth instead. The disciples' mistakes are all due to the master's lack of virtue. It's also my fault for not recognizing that my disciples' willpower and concentration are below expectations. Making excuses will only make me look worse. However, after spending 3 months teaching my disciple, I've come to understand his temperament even better. Please give us more time, and I will ensure to teach Jeon Myung-hoon more effectively. Ahem. Jin Baek-ho shows a slight displeasure but gradually calms his anger. Seo Eun-yun, with a lightning sacred body, has already received the position of an elder, and it won't be long before he truly condenses his nascent soul and becomes an official elder of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. It's unacceptable for the bearer of the Heavenly Golden Thunder body, akin to the second coming of our ancestor, to still be struggling in the Chi gathering stage. Jin Baek-ho stands up from the throne in the Golden Thunder Hall and says, Grand Elder Jin Jin Chan, listen. As the Grand Elder, I command you to use any means necessary to improve Jeon Myung-hoon's cultivation. It is said that the true power of the Heavenly Golden Thunder body is revealed only after facing the heavenly tribulation and growing through it. So, we must quickly elevate Jeon Myung-hoon to the nascent soul stage. I shall obey the Supreme Sect Master's noble command. Jin Jin Chan leaves the Golden Thunder Hall with Jeon Myung-hoon. After leaving the hall with Jin Jin Chan, Jeon Myung-hoon is grinding his teeth internally. What the hell is going on? He thinks of Seo Eun-yun. How could that idiot, who was so pitiful at the company, already become an elder in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? That idiot who couldn't even use Excel properly when he joined the company has already mastered those difficult techniques and reached the nascent soul stage. Jeon Myung-hoon thinks bitterly. That's impossible. Does Seo Eun-yun have the intelligence for that? No, he doesn't. Then how did he reach the nascent soul stage so quickly? After pondering for a moment, Jeon Myung-hoon realizes the answer. Right, he must have consumed a lot of spiritual elixirs. And his dual cultivation partner must be one of the nascent soul stage elders, so he skyrocketed in cultivation in a short time with the power of dual cultivation. Convinced he has uncovered Seo Eun-yun's secret, Jeon Myung-hoon smirks inwardly. Yes, he must have gotten smart enough to become close with the sect's higher-ups and received plenty of good spiritual elixirs and a powerful dual cultivation partner, leading him to that level. Regardless of the truth, Jeon Myung-hoon firmly believes so. Just wait a bit longer, Seo Eun-yun. I, too, will quickly be assigned a good dual cultivation partner and surpass you. He confidently envisions a hopeful future as he arrives at his cave residence with Jin Jin Chan. Perhaps due to being lost in his own delusions, Jeon Myung-hoon failed to notice the expression on his master, Jin Jin Chan's face. Myung-hoon, let's begin your training. Haha, yes, at least I've got the hang of cultivating the law transformation dantian and the basics of cultivation methods. The Chi refining stage is going to be in a similar manner, right? Jeon Myung-hoon says with a confident expression. Even though this disciple is momentarily behind Seo Eun-yun, I will continue to grow rapidly and become the pride of our sect. Yes, it's good to have ambition, so let's start the training. This master has considered a training method that suits your temperament perfectly. The middle-aged Jin Jin Chan strokes his beard and reaches out into the air. Then, the ground of Jaeon Myung-hoon's quarters writhes, and the earth transforms into a stone seat. My disciple, take a seat. Your training will proceed while you're seated here. Oh, I don't need to sit in a lotus position. Jaeon Myung-hoon, who had found sitting in the lotus position for extended periods uncomfortable, happily takes his place on the stone seat. At that moment, click, 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 click. Stones from the armrests and near the legs protrude, binding Jaeon Myung-hoon's limbs in restraints. Master. Click. Finally, a circular restraint resembling a torture device springs from the back of the seat, securing Jaeon Myung-hoon's head. Jaeon Myung-hoon is now bound to the stone seat. As Jin Chan flicks his fingers again, runes detailing the lightning path method are engraved into various parts of the stone seat. Zap, crackle, crackle. Simultaneously, lightning gathers around the runes and blue lightning writhes around the seat where Jaeon Myung-hoon is sitting. Fortunately, Jin Chan must have cast some protective spell, as the lightning does not reach Jaeon Myung-hoon's body. Master, what is this electricity for? The heavenly golden thunder body is a physique that receives the love of all lightning in the universe. When its qualities are fully manifested, it can even consume and withstand heavenly tribulation. Jaeon Myung-hoon, bound by his limbs and head, swallows hard. Damn it, this looks just like the chair used for electric executions. Even a fool would sense ominous vibes from the current situation. He swallows and responds to Jin Chan's statement. Yes, I understand, but from now on, a bitter smile mixed with frustration appears on Jin Chan's face. You will familiarize your body with the hand seals and mantras of the 72 earthly true words. If you lack in learning, this master will personally infuse you with the power of lightning, using both the method of understanding before breakthrough and understanding after breakthrough. Jaeon Myung-hoon forces a smile upon seeing Jin Chan's expression. Can't we just go back to practicing in the lotus position like before? Soon after, screams echo from within Jaeon Myung-hoon's quarters. Crackle, zap, arg, hee, then I'll be counting on you in the future, Elder Co. I'm the one who should be saying that. Please take care, Elder Gal. After receiving congratulations from the elders and senior members of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect in my cave residence, I bid them farewell and sit in the lotus position. Crackle. The extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple and the thousand lustrous forest sea are complementing each other, drastically boosting my cultivation speed. I've managed to achieve considerable mastery in both the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple and the 7 lightning quaking scripture. The Taiji quaking lightning body is also being mastered through Yuan Yu's control, significantly improving my understanding. I have mastered all the methods called the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's 3 great methods. The deeper I dive into the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's methods, the more wondrous they seem. I contemplate the interconnectedness of the 3 methods. Hong Su Ryong said that no one has ever achieved such rapid mastery of all 3 methods before. Hong Su Ryong and I were designated as dual cultivation partners, but instead of engaging in physical dual cultivation, our relationship evolved mainly into exchanging insights. I shared my enlightenment on the way and essence of the sword, and she mainly imparted her insights on the integration of sword techniques and cultivation methods to me. Thanks to that, I've recently gained a considerable understanding of sword cultivators' techniques. And that includes sword formations. I learned about sword formations that involve the use of multiple swords. Thus, our dual cultivation relationship focused more on a spiritual connection rather than a physical one. While reviewing my lightning path method, Hong Su Ryong, as a grand elder of the heavenly being stage within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, also offered her advice. I recall our conversation. No one has ever mastered all 3 great methods of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect like you have before. Even our ancestors who were born with the lightning sacred body initially attempted the same path as you but soon abandoned it for some reason. Do you know what that reason was? I'm not sure, but as someone who has long practiced the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's methods, I suspect that perhaps all the lightning path methods of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect are incomplete, to some extent. What do you mean by that? Precisely, when practiced together, the incomplete methods complement each other. Doesn't that mean it's actually correct to practice the 3 great methods together? I've experimented with this approach myself. However, all attempts failed. It seemed promising up to a certain point, and I appeared to dominate in the same stage, but ultimately, one method would subsume the others. You mean one method becomes subordinate to another? Yes. For example, if a cultivator practices both the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple and the 7 lightning quaking scripture, and the mastery of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple slightly surpasses that of the 7 lightning quaking scripture, at some point, the 7 lightning quaking scripture becomes subordinate to the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple. Hong Su Ryong continued her explanation, drawing with lightning in the air. Subordination itself isn't the issue. But by becoming subordinate, the cultivation of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple ends up engulfing that of the 7 lightning quaking scripture. While the cultivation of the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple might increase, it's no different from the situation where the cultivation of the 7 lightning quaking scripture is suddenly pulled out. Exactly. Our bodies adapt little by little to the methods we practice. But what if, after the body has perfectly adapted to both the 7 lightning quaking scripture and the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple, one of the methods suddenly disappears? Wouldn't that completely disrupt the body's balance, shortening lifespan or suddenly weakening it? Yes, perhaps our ancestors, who were born with the lightning sacred body, also couldn't overcome this imperfection of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's lightning path methods. Confused, I asked her. Then why doesn't the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect try to improve these flaws in the method? And why didn't you try to stop me when I said I would master all the major methods? Because the lightning sacred body naturally achieves harmony among the methods within the body. Even if the flaws of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's lightning path methods manifest, it would probably be almost 1,000 years later. Besides, according to the records from the era when the founder was alive, those flaws did not exist. Maybe, with the power of the heavenly golden thunder body, there was a way to somehow compensate for the imperfections of the lightning path method. The power of the heavenly golden thunder body. Thinking back on our conversation, I remember Jeon Myung-hoon. I wonder how long it will take for that guy to grow to the level of Yang Soo-jin. But based on my estimates, it will take him at least 10,000 years to reach such a level. It took him 3 months just to reach the Qi gathering stage. Even Kim Yeon managed to reach the 4th star of Qi refining within 3 months. There's no need to rely on such a person and leave the weaknesses of the lightning path methods unaddressed. I am aware of the disharmony between the extinguishing lightning inner heavenly temple and the 7 lightning quaking scripture within me. For now, the curse is playing a part in aligning the disharmony between the 2 methods. But as time passes, if the achievement of one method lags behind, it will be consumed by the other, leading to an imbalance within me. I can't wait for Jeon Myung-hoon. I decide to balance it out with my own efforts. And so, how should I balance between the methods? There are countless lightning path methods scattered throughout the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Hence, I determine myself to master all the lightning path methods that exist within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. By mastering all the lightning path methods within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, I'll prevent the disharmony from intensifying and one method from being subjugated by another. If there's a method trying to subjugate others, I'll just enhance the influence of other methods to suppress it. Others might call it madness, but I am determined. It took me 500 years to barely reach the mid-stage of nascent soul in my 16th cycle. Hong Su Ryong said talent doesn't exist, but I know in reality that talent exists, and mine is exceptionally lacking. I don't have the luxury of wasting time to recover to the mid-stage of the nascent soul in this life. So, what's the answer? To push through forcefully, somehow breaking through to the mid-stage of nascent soul. And the way to do it, while overcoming the disharmony in the lightning path methods, is to encapsulate all the lightning path methods that exist within the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Crackle, zap, I request Jinhee to bring me the method manuals from the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's scripture pavilion, and I begin to practice them one by one. First, I'll start with the 8 thundering heavenly palms. Seo Eun-yun and Jeon Myung-hoon each began their diligent cultivation. And after about a year and a half, finally, Jin Chan and Jeon Myung-hoon embrace each other in joy within the same cave residence. Disciple Jeon Myung-hoon, I've finally completed the 6th star of Qi refining, the 8 trigrams. Excellent, excellent, my disciple. With this speed, you're now comparable to ordinary disciples with heavenly spiritual roots. In a year and a half, under the hellish training of Jin Chan, Jeon Myung-hoon's concentration and willpower were forcibly improved. Thanks to this, Jeon Myung-hoon's cultivation speed, although still not matching the legendary heavenly golden thunder body, has caught up to that of ordinary cultivators with heavenly spiritual roots. Now all that's left is the 7 stars ritual. Once you pass through the gate of the 7 stars ritual, you will be assigned a proper dual cultivation partner and can advance your lightning path method achievements even faster. Yes, Master. Jaeon Myung-hoon smiles with anticipation. Finally, can I now practice the lightning path method with a dual cultivation partner? For a year and a half, Jaeon Myung-hoon felt like he was going insane. Ashamed of having enraged Jin Baek-ho, his master Jin Chan had not allowed Jaeon Myung-hoon to step outside his quarters. For a year and a half, Jaeon Myung-hoon was confined within his residence, enduring electrocution and forcibly having his cultivation improved. But that damn cultivation is finally coming to an end. After the 7 stars ritual, he will be assigned a dual cultivation partner. Having a dual cultivation partner means he can visit their cave residence for dual cultivation practice, so Jin Chan promised to let Jaeon Myung-hoon out after he is assigned a dual cultivation partner. I can finally leave this damned cave. Jaeon Myung-hoon is overjoyed by that more than anything else. Well, then, we'll conduct the 7 stars ritual in a few days. Yes, Master, it was just a lack of willpower. As your willpower and concentration increase, so does your cultivation speed day by day, proving that the fame of the heavenly golden thunder body is no mere exaggeration. Under Jin Chan's trusting gaze, Jaeon Myung-hoon resolves to devote himself even more to his cultivation. A few days later, with the preparations for Jaeon Myung-hoon's 7 stars ritual completed, he stepped outside his quarters for the first time in a long while. It feels refreshing. A year and a half has passed in the blink of an eye. For cultivators, a year and a half might seem like a fleeting moment, but for Jaeon Myung-hoon, it feels longer than his time as a public service worker. The more I practice cultivation methods, the stronger I feel as the spiritual energy inside me amplifies. There's also a sense of transcending humanity as my consciousness expands. Jaeon Myung-hoon gradually came to find joy in his cultivation. Though it was a hellish ordeal, he became stronger. And he gained that much more power. If I continue to cultivate like this, will I also have the enormous lifespan and powers of the nascent soul stage elders and the heavenly being stage elders? Jaeon Myung-hoon smiles, thinking about the life that lies ahead of him. I heard that after reaching the nascent soul stage, Seo Eun-yun's cultivation speed hasn't been as fast as before. He decides to catch up to Seo Eun-yun quickly while he is still stagnant. After the 7 stars ritual, it'll be dual cultivation training. I'm confident I can be even more diligent than any other cultivator. He might have lacked a bit in concentration and willpower before, but Jaeon Myung-hoon is sure he can burn with passion for dual cultivation. I can finally utilize the skills I honed on Earth. Alright, from now on, I'll quickly grow stronger with the power of dual cultivation and surpass Seo Eun-yun. As Jaeon Myung-hoon is thinking this, Kugugugu, suddenly, something large and elongated passes by Jaeon Myung-hoon's side. Hic. Overwhelmed by the formidable presence of that something, Jaeon Myung-hoon involuntarily hiccups. Is that an amugi? For a moment, that thought crosses Jaeon Myung-hoon's mind. The long, black thing that passes in front of Jaeon Myung-hoon is obscured by backlight, resembling a long, black serpent. No, a snake. Indeed, it looks like a black snake. But as Jaeon Myung-hoon focuses more closely, he can see the true nature of this black snake. It's not a snake, that's. Eek, what is that? Jaeon Myung-hoon screams as he recognizes the true nature of that grotesque creature. It's a giant centipede, each segment as big as a house. The giant centipede flies through the sky, passing in front of Jaeon Myung-hoon's cave residence. At Jaeon Myung-hoon's scream, the centipede suddenly bends its antennae and turns its gaze toward him. What? I thought demons couldn't enter the sect. Just as Jaeon Myung-hoon feels his mind go blank in front of this massive predator. Who might you be, sir? Quote. Huh. Words of consciousness emanate from the centipede's mouth. It spoke in a rather polite tone. You can speak. I am, called Hong Fan, beloved demon beast, of one of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sects, elders. Ah, I see. Jaeon Myung-hoon finally understands, realizing it's the pet of an elder. So it isn't a common demon after all. Sorry, I was startled for a moment, thinking you were a demon invading the sect. But if you become a nascent soul elder, can you? Jaeon Myung-hoon assesses the cultivation of the centipede demon beast, Hong Fan. Control demon beasts at the chi building stage. Well, it varies depending on the elder's abilities. I see. Looking at Hong Fan floating in front of him, Jaeon Myung-hoon makes up his mind. I must become as powerful as Hong Fan's master, capable of raising such a demon beast. He unknowingly harbors respect for Hong Fan's master, vowing to become such a strong cultivator himself. And that evening, Jaeon Myung-hoon's 7 stars ritual began.